Tonight's football is brought to you by the SIO, your state insurance office, in association with Carlton United Breweries, brewers of Victoria Bitter.
In tonight's Panasonic Cup match, last year's league champions Carlton battle wooden spooners Richmond. Again, the Blues look a force. Experienced campaigner Ken Hunter is fit and ready for a long season. So too is Mill Hanna. In the Tiger camp, what a test it's going to be for new coach Kevin Bartlett. But with players like Michael Mitchell and Peter Wilson, they'll make it hard for the Blues. As we wish all players all the best for the 88 VFL season. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second match in the Panasonic Cup. As I just mentioned, Carlton take on the Tigers. It looks a pretty good night here at VFL Park. We did have one sleeting shower, but I think they're going to bypass us, or at least hopefully, for the remainder of the evening. Let's have a look at the forecast, and we can see there is a chance of showers. Our overnight minimum is 15 and the current temperature is a pretty good one out here at VFL Park. We're looking at around 20 degrees. Well, I'm happy to be able to say, joining us on the Channel 7 microphones for the 88 season, we've got some very, very experienced campaigners. A veteran of 122 games with the Blues, we welcome Ian Robertson. Robbo, welcome.
Terrific to be here, Sandy.
And a real veteran of 345 with North Melbourne and the Woodville Warriors, Malcolm Blight. Malcolm, welcome to 7.
Thanks very much, Sandy. It's great to be here.
Gentlemen, let's have a quick look at how you think the teams will line up. Robbo, you firstly.
Well, Carlton, obviously, with still quite a bit of experience in their side, even though they've got a few players out through suspension and injury. Silvani at centre-half back, Stephen Kernahan at centre-half forward. Good to see Satori and Hanna back after injuries last year. Question mark on Dorotic. Guess they're trying to run him into a bit of early season form, putting him in the first ruck. But still a solid lineup.
And Malcolm, the Tigers.
Just the Richmond side, a very, very young side with Roach, Wallace and Eustace being out. But I suppose the most important thing today is going to be to see how Kevin Bartlett handles his first coaching role at Richmond. Only Jess really of any experience in the side, so it's a very inexperienced side and a lot of new players. Summers, Huntington, Peters, a lot of young players that we're looking forward to and seeing how they go with Richmond this year. All
right, Malcolm, and we certainly look forward to your comments throughout the 88 season. Well, also joining us on tonight's telecast, down on the boundary line, our expert commentators down there are Peter Donegan and Dixie Marshall. I've got an idea the players are just about ready to make their way out onto the ground. In fact, as the Tigers come out, we shall take a break and be back with this all-important game in just a moment. Welcome back. Here's the toss. Let's go downstairs, the centre of the ground with Peter Donegan.
Toss of the coin. Michael Pickering calls heads. Heads it is, and the Tigers will kick to the right-hand end of the screen, the small scoreboard end. A little bit breezy out here in the middle of VFL Park tonight, and if anything, that is the end that is favoured by the breeze.
All right, thanks, Pete. Mike Pickering winning the toss for the Tigers. He's acting captain tonight. And it's a great night for football here in Melbourne. The umpires in charge, David Howlett and Paul Saville. And here we go to get the first quarter underway in the second match of the Panasonic Cup. Interesting to note for Carlton that big John Dorotic is in the ruck. Doesn't win it first up. Trying to burst his way through. Unsuccessfully was Mitchell, but he did have success in getting it out to a teammate. They go down towards Egan, who takes the mark on the left half forward flank. Just on the 50-metre line, although he'll kick from possibly 54, 55 metres. Philip Egan with a drop punt in towards full forward. Aitken is there in front, can't take the mark, offhands it comes at the back, and it's the first blood to the Tigers. Kick by Peter Wilson. Wearing the number 19 Guernsey this year, Malcolm, switching from number 5.
This wasn't a great read off hands too, with a great snap under pressure. What a marvellous start for Richmond. They're kicking with the breeze, and what a great start to the 88 season for Kevin Bartlett.
The Tigers, one straight goal. Carlton yet to score.
John Dorotic looking pretty fit for the Blues. And Richmond obviously very, very keen to do well. Nixon in the ruck for the Tigers. Nixon gets the tap out. Away go Richmond again. There's a chance up towards centre half forward. High flyers wanted. The ball hits the deck. Through comes Wilson again. Left foot snap. looks okay. Holds up in the breeze. The goal umpire signals it's all clear. Second goal to Richmond.
What a marvellous snap again. 2 out of 2 for the young fella from Perth, who had probably an indifferent season last year, up and down a bit. But Wilson this time with a great left foot snap, great pick-up, weaved his way out of the pack and snapped truly. Well, what an even more remarkable start, Sandy.
And Mitchell has been involved both times, getting that ball out of the middle. Let's see what happens this time. 2 goals in almost as many minutes. Dorotich up against Nixon. VFL Park looking an absolute picture. Dorotich has got to chase it, doesn't win it. Can they get it out of the middle though? They can't at the moment. Eventually Fraser Murphy comes through, hurriedly puts it onto the left foot, down towards Hannah, but what's the bounce going to be like? The ghost, Jimmy Jess comes through, pushes it towards the back pocket, does some good heavy body work, great shepherding on that occasion to allow his smaller team man through. That was Brendan Bauer who cleared, but well done Jess, as it's tapped towards the line, kept in play by Gleeson. His handball goes astray. Can the Tigers get out of it? No, over the line eventually, and a throw-in to take place and some early jostling going on.
Interesting to note, Sandy, that Jimmy Jess has started the season off the way he's finished off most, and already a bit of ill feeling starting to come into the game.
Yes, there. Huntington there for the Tigers, and Richmond very, very keen. Here's a chance for Nailey. Couldn't take the ball with him. Nixon on the bottom of the pack. Quick kick out of it. Doesn't travel too far. Big punch on by Kernahan. Nailey in the open. Goes in towards goal. Poor kick by Nailey across the face. Close to the boundary line, it's out on the full, and the free kick will be taken in the back pocket for Richmond by Huntington, one of their new players. Just being spoken to by...
I think he's going to give away a free kick. In fact, I'm sure he is.
I didn't see what happened, but Jimmy Jess is obviously not happy with the decision. Nevertheless, there's a shot at goal for Fraser Murphy. And really it'll be interesting just to see how the breeze is. They're kicking into the breeze in line-up from about 45-degree angle. He's taking plenty of time over it.
And he comes. Well, it swings back, but it's going to be 1 point only. So the Blues are on the board to the tune of 1 behind. And we might be able to see now the infringement.
Oh yes, Jimmy's dragged him
very
down.
subtle.
No, very untidy.
Ball back into play from that behind. It's rushed over the boundary line by Nixon, and we'll have a throw in just outside the 50-metre line. Carlton in attack, members side. Richmond looking very, very fresh. There's a chance for Nixon. In front, Satori, over the top, Murphy. Bursts his way through the pack. Glasgow, left foot snaps, a poor kick. In front, Kernahan, crashed to the ground by Jess. Here's a chance for Mitchell. Well tackled by Dennis. Gleeson goes after it. Free kick being picked out of it by umpire Howlett, and it'll go to Mitchell. Mitchell breaks clear. Oh, poor play by the Tigers. He's run too far according to the umpire, and the free kick now will go back to Carlton. And the players a little bemused by this 10-metre
Well,
rule.
what does our expert commentator Malcolm Blight think of the rule?
Oh, I'd like to see it again. I thought last Wednesday night they were pretty lenient on it, but I mean that was really yes, it's very interesting. I mean, you must kick the football, obviously, but it was 10, 12 metres perhaps. Anyhow, Hannah's having a shot at goal. See if this kick's any better. And it is a lovely kick from Hannah.
5 points the margin, favouring the Tigers. Dorotich up against Nixon for the centre bounce. Pretty good crowd here at VFL Park tonight. They've come in late as Nixon wins it. The Tigers trying desperately to win it out of the middle, as they've done so on a couple of occasions, but it's Shine who gets a kick. It goes straight down to Jess, however, who's incurred the wrath of the Carlton fans. It's a long kick, naturally, by Jess, across to Egan, who gets the hand pass away. The Tigers look good. What's the bounce going to be like? The ball sits. Silvani tries to soccer it off the ground. Past Shine, but he's got backup support in the form of Hunter. Hunter gets it across to Aitken. He'll come wide. Sensibly so, finding Adrian Gleeson, who marks on the half-back flank. Gleeson looks in towards the middle, and he finds Glasgow, who plays on. Swings beautifully out of one. Gets collared, but gets the handball away. Silvani's a long way down. He loses it, but they still maintain possession, as it was Glasgow who kicks down towards half-forward, only to see Jess in the way once again.
Jess, prominent early in the game. Good sign for the Tigers. His kick goes wide to the wing. In front, Shine. Over the top for Richmond was Summers. Now the ball on the ground. Quickly picked up by Pickering. Chance for Nixon. Gets it off there to Palm. Palm in towards the centre. James is dispossessed by Aitken. Chance for Nayley. On the bottom of the pack for the Tigers was Craig Smith, but the umpire decides on a bounce.
Watching the centre half forward and half forward line area play, Kevin Bartlett influence already showing up in the forward line. Both Summers and Smith have tried to knock on. Very similar to Cloak playing with Bartlett some years ago.
Here's the bounce. The Blues not winning in that area at the moment. A good smother on that occasion, however, as the ball goes to ground. Nayley tried to get it clear, couldn't do so, but it doesn't matter. His teammate will take a free kick in the form of David Kernahan. He, like brother Steve from the Gwinnell Club in South Australia, and he was looking down towards his brother on that half-forward line. He's at the bottom of the pack, struggling to get the ball, but he's got plenty of opposition, particularly from Michael Pickering. So a bounce will take place, and Robbie Walls, no doubt like his charges, keen, enthusiastic, and perhaps a little nervous at the start of the 88 season. But what a year it's going to be. Bowers' kick is smothered. He has support. David Palm bursts clear. Kicks over the centre, but it's all Carlton. It's taken by Ken Hunter. Let's hope he has a better season injury-wise than he did last year. He finds Murphy. Murphy halts play at the 55-metre mark. Now swings it across goal in towards the pocket, but the Tigers playing in front. It's acting captain Mike Pickering who takes the mark.
Well, a good play by Pickering, chipping in front. The wind holding the ball up, and he decides to go to the outer side. Nice long kick. Kernahan from behind. Shine. Out wide, Glasgow. Back to Shine. Shine, high left foot kick towards centre half forward. No mark taken. Play on. All strong play there by Thompson. Crumbs picked up by Murphy. Dennis collide. Oh, crashed to the ground by Palm. Free kick to Richmond, and it's going to James. James plays on, kicks it in towards the centre. Aitken's a good chance and takes the mark for Carlton. Play on, says the umpire. Out wide it comes to Peters. Peters quick kick up towards the half-forward flank member side. Now there's a chance for the Tigers. They go forward into the pocket. Punched away, strong in defence. Out wide, Dorotich. Over the top, he's got the loose player in Gleeson. He can't break the Peters tackle. Yes, he can. Handballs it up towards the wing where Glasgott's made good position. Round onto the right foot. Glasgott kicks long towards half forward. A strong punch away by the Richmond defence over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in between wing and half forward, slightly favouring the Blues.
5 points the margin, favouring the Tigers. Both sides as keen as mustard. I don't know what happened to Steve Kernahan's jumper. I think he must have left the original number 4 and he's ripped off a 1 or a 2, but nevertheless he's still out there, and the Blues will be looking for plenty from him as the ball drifts over the line. Yes, only just beating Dean Notting. So another throw in to take place, this time some 65 metres from the Tigers scoring zone, and they lead by 5 points. There's the throw in. Dorotich tried to muscle in for front spot. Notting gets collared, loses the football. It's pushed wide. Smith was there for the Tigers. Shine goes to the bottom for the Blues. Out it comes to the back. Taken by Ken Hunter. Onto the left foot. He's able to hook it back. Oh, Fraser Murphy flies and he's got it. Plays on quickly to the player running past. That was Shine. Down to Kernahan. He's drifted down towards the wing. On his mark was Jess. The kick, however, is a poor one. The Tigers, they're enthusiastic.
Did we see our first 50-metre penalty here? No.
Well, that was David Kernahan. Out it comes to Brendan Bauer. Bauer goes wide. It'll be Pickering first to the ball if he can keep it in play. He can, onto the left foot, and the Tigers go forward.
Pickering finds James. Unattended, James at half forward. Too far out to score. He kicks it in short. Here's a chance for Murphy. Elvin just gets in his road at the crucial stage. Murphy overruns it again. Free kick being picked out of it by the umpire. It'll go to Kennedy, one of the players who really found himself in the Blues lineup last year and played lots of football, including the premiership side. Goes out towards the wing. The crumb gatherers. Evans not desperate enough. There's a chance now for Shine, who throws himself on the ball in front of Palm. Elvin held when he didn't have the ball. Also by the leg, and Elvin will take the free kick for Carlton at half-back. Conspicuous early is Tommy Elvin. He plays on, kicks it wide towards the wing. Out there on his own is David Kernahan, and he takes the mark in front of Bauer. No 15-metre penalty given there, and David Kernahan, who's had This would be his second kick for the match, and he kicks it up towards the half-forward area, looking for brother Stephen. He tries the tap on. Murphy there. So is Palm for Richmond. Good interception by Pickering. Up towards half-forward. Punch away by Kennedy. Good backing up, and he goes after it, kicks the ball long towards half-forward, and a good mark taken for the Tigers at half-back by Goodwin. 50-metre penalty for wasting time, and it looks 50 metres to me.
My word. Gee, I'm looking for a block of land, wouldn't you, like that?
So it brings him down to the 55-metre mark. And after being in defence, he's going to have a shot. He'll certainly put it deep into attack. In fact, into the square it goes. Over the top, it was touched. One behind only.
Well, it's a dangerous rule, that, Sandy.
It certainly is.
Players are just going to have to really watch that. I thought it was accidental, but accidents do count on the footy field. And here we go with the Carlton conglomeration, I'm going to call it. They all mill around in the middle and start darting everywhere. It's a great ploy by Robbie Rawls to get the ball in the open.
Well, that kick back into play, he's got virtually 1 against 3. It was Silvani, but well played Gleeson as he socketed it forward. He's going to be under pressure now, loses it, and Mitchell marks at the 55-metre line. The kick coming from Nixon was only a short one. Mitchell down towards full forward, some loose checking there, and Dean Notting takes the mark. Almost directly in front, and 30 metres out. So the Tigers again the opportunity to open up this margin. They lead by 6 points at the moment. He stabs at a drop punt. The goal umpire doesn't move. They lead by 12. The Tigers lead by 12 points. 19 plays 7 after Dean Notting kicked his first goal. Centre bounce once again, and they're winning the ball out of the middle. Here's Notting in the thick of things again. With that Bartlett influence, he tried to push it along, but it went straight to Hunter, who manages a quick left foot kick up towards centre wing. Chasing a Palm, after him is Fraser Murphy. Was he felled after he got rid of the ball? Out of bounds on the full, it must have gone, as it's brought back into play. Waiting down is Bernie Evans. Can't go through, so co-small man there is Murphy, but the free kick will go the way of the Tigers. And looking in a spot of bother there is Andy Goodwin. Keep an eye on him, he may just be winded. Let's hope that's all it is. In the meantime, the action's with David Palm.
Palm on the defensive side of centre wing, out of side. Kicks it up towards the half-forward area. Chance for Dorotich. Aitken struggling a little bit. Silvani, David Kernahan on the bottom of the pack. Strong stuff by Wilson. He looks a bit of a stirrer, Peter Wilson, and he's right in the action there. And umpire has given a free kick to Shine. Well, maybe that was against Wilson for showing unnecessary aggression.
Oh, it's terrible.
Malcolm Blight not impressed.
Ball goes up towards half-forward for the Blues. Good mark by Kernahan. Well, he's between the wing and centre half-forward. Now he kicks it to centre half-forward. Inside the 50-metre line. Chance for Peters. Socks down the recruit. Kick off the ground by Gleeson. Offline. One behind to the Blues.
And Robbo, pretty big raps on Wayne Peters. I believe he was their draft choice, the Tigers.
Well, it's interesting. He's playing on the wing on Gleeson. You would think that a player of that calibre maybe should be in a key position. The kick out towards half-back for the Tigers. Evans can't control it. He gets the handball away to Gleeson. Good desperation there shown by the Tigers. Gleeson's kick smothered. Richmond going after everything. Nothing to lose. Gleeson gets the kick away. Umpires picked the free kick out of it, and it'll go back to half-forward. Looks like the captain, the Carlton skipper, Stephen Kernahan, to receive the free kick.
Yes, I didn't quite see that before. What fantastic desperation with that smother. It's a great art in football, and they're certainly keeping the pressure up on Carlton at this stage.
There's the kick down towards the half-forward line. No one able to mark it. But the Tigers should be able to clear, and in fact they do. Through Paul Morris, a long kick down towards centre. Silvani waits for it. Alban is there to lend support if he needs it. He does. Also out the back is Aitken. Gets rid of one, then a handball out the back. The target was Silvani, but he's beaten for it, however. And the Tigers will go down towards the half-forward line through Bomber James. And by gee, they're looking good. Here's Burton. Notting it was, I'm sorry. Going right across the face of goal. Looking for Egan. Has it now. He's very little support, so he steadies and chips one in towards the pocket. Overrun, and eventually pushed over the line by Mackenzie, and a throw in to take place. Unable to control it on that occasion was Jeff Hogg. So we'll see a throw in Richmond's right forward pocket. 8 plays 19, favouring the Tigers. Dorotich from the back. Waiting down was Hunter, so too was Shine. Both lose it, and a bounce will take place. Conditions, Robbo, really ideal now, aren't they?
Well, the ground looks terrific, Sandy, but that wind must be very, very tricky for the players. It's blowing quite strongly. Dorotich tries to get the tap out close to the boundary line. Evans not quite showing enough desperation. Now the ball goes over, and we'll have a throw in about 40 metres around from the Richmond goal. After getting 2 quick goals through Wilson and then 1 followed up by Notting, the Tigers lead by 11 points. A big punch away. There's a chance there for the Tigers. Aitken round the neck against Wilson, and the free kick has been paid to Aitken. Wilson not happy. He would like to front him in a dark lane.
He's very lively, isn't he?
Aitken kicks it wide and finds Hunter. Oh, crashed to the ground by Goodwin. And the Tigers' tactics quite plain at this stage of the game.
There's another one.
50-metre penalty. Wasting time. And we'll see which one of the umpires would like to buy real estate from now. Hunter now taken up to the centre. Kicks it out wide. Elvin's made room for himself. Over the top, the hand pass. It goes to David Kernahan. He looks a likely prospect. Kicks it long to brother Stephen. What a beautiful kick. Delivery, spot on.
So we saw that many times in Adelaide. Young David racing down the wing and delivering it to Stephen. And he's a very balanced player, David Kernahan. It's going to be an interesting season for him, how he fits into this Carlton side.
And it's really tough to tell they're brothers, isn't it? Satori ignored.
Not as though Stephen really has to get him like that, is it?
Is the kick from Steve Kernahan. Into the square it goes. Waiting down was Glascott. Couldn't take it. Without it was Dennis. The handball comes clear from Peters. Mitchell has possession, gets it away, and now the Tigers are out of stripe. Or they don't want too many. No, Bow goes over the top, out wide towards the wing. The free kick will go the way of Mick Thompson. A drop punt up towards half forward. Aitken got a hand to it, tried to push it over the back. Kennedy, the tackler, illegal, said the umpire, and Phil Egan is at the bottom. Too far out to score, but he goes long with a drop punt in towards the square. Plenty of flyers, no one able to take it. Wilson had it, then lost it. Notting, the handball over the line. He was under a ton of pressure. A throw-in won't take place because the siren has sounded. It's quarter time here at VFL Park. Richmond 3-1-19 leading Carlton 1-2-8. Welcome back to VFL Park. I mentioned we did have a little bit of rain early, but it appears to have cleared, Malcolm.
Yes, the rain looks good at the moment. Actually, the weather looks terrific.
You're probably wondering why I mentioned the rain.
Yes, I've got...
Well, and we look at Alf, you see. Now, Alf's going to be in strife this week because he's going to Gilligan's Island. In fact, he's going to meet everyone from Gilligan's Island. I'm sure you'll remember Bob Denver.
Oh, marvellous.
Trivia time.
Gamer Pile.
Who was the skipper?
Alan Hale.
Alan Hale, correct. Well, of course, you can see Alf, and that followed by Valerie's Family on the Australian Television Network, 7:30 tomorrow. So don't miss those 2 programs. Great shows. It's quarter time here at VFL Park. Carlton kicked only 1 goal for the term. That was Milhana. And they're 1-2-8, trailing Richmond 3-1-19. Well, all players on the ground tonight certainly do have plenty incentive, not only to play well and try and gain a regular berth in the team, but also they've got the opportunity of picking up a great prize.
The player of the match receives this magnificent compact-sized variable power oven by courtesy of Panasonic.
So Malcolm Blight, the Tigers, well, they looked pretty good, didn't they, in that first quarter, particularly in the opening minutes?
Yes, they did. Dorotich is just struggling in the ruck. He's getting underneath the ball, and that push forward got those first 2 goals from Wilson, who had a purple first couple of minutes. Carlton steady, but just towards the end of that quarter again, I just felt that Richmond started to control the ball. It's going to be their big test now against the Breeze. As Egan in the replay here kicks into the square, and this is the one that's gone off hands. Wilson at the back, and a quick snap under pressure. So that really got them going and set the scene for what should be a great second quarter.
Okay, and we're just about set to go for that second quarter. Wherever you're watching, I certainly hope you're enjoying it. Tiger fans, I'm sure, would be at the moment. But let's see what happens in this turn. They're kicking towards the big scoreboard as Dorotich got that one down, and Kernahan it is who takes the mark, plays on. He had a choice there. Tommy Alvin intercepted, goes up towards the half-forward line. Dennis can't quite take the mark off hands. Who's going to get it out? It's Bauer across to Palm, and the Tigers clear.
Palm's quick kick out towards the wing. Pickering's made good position. Oh, good outnumbering there. Peters backing his captain up. Aitken does the tackling.
Great
robbing
tackle.
the ball. Free kick to Aitken for Carlton. Defensive side of centre wing. Best first-year player in the VFL last year, Ian Aitken. Kicks the ball up towards half-forward. It's a wobbly kick. The Tigers outnumbering the Blues. Silvani, strong. Gleeson throws himself on the football. And when you fall over, it's pretty hard to break away, and the umpire will bounce. Umpire Howlett and umpire Saville in charge this evening. Dorotich doing the ruck work for the Blues. In there was Nixon. Nailey got the quick kick out towards half forward. Jess intercepts, does it well. Cool, out to Thompson. Thompson, right foot kick, covers 50 metres out towards Alvin and Pickering. Pickering looking for the free kick and is awarded the free kick.
Oh, marvellous performance. Academy Award performance.
61 VFL games to his credit, Mike Pickering. Robert Wall's keeping a very close eye on things. The opening minutes of this second term. Pickering on the wing. Somewhat undecided. He's got a couple of leads. He decides to pop up towards the flank, and he got one from Jeff Hogg, and he accepted it. Some 55 metres out. By the time he kicks it, perhaps a little longer. Hogg's kick will just about make the square. Dorotich nips across, but in front was Ken Hunter. Well, he had a disappointing year with injuries, and I'm sure Carlton fans will be very keen to see Hunter do well. That's the Carlton back line combining. The kick, after being touched, goes over the line. And so a throw-in to take place. Tigers lead. Dorotich. Summers there also. This time the Blues winning it from the throw-in, but the kick was a little astray, and it goes almost down the race. At centre wing. Throw in again. Dorotich. With Mr. Madden not participating tonight. Nailey is almost caught in a headlock, I thought then.
Yes, it was a line ball, wasn't it? It's only a little fella, Nailey, and Nixon's doing a fairly good job in ruck. I suppose he's not getting his hand on every ball, but he's certainly nullifying Dorotich, and it's quite a good contest at this stage.
Let's see what happens on this occasion. Still on the wing. Ball bottled up there momentarily. Yes, he wins it, but Nailey was there. Couldn't handle it long enough, but he did get it to Glascott, who kicks down towards Hannah, who's forced onto the defensive, trying to spoil. Was successful, and another throw-in will take place, almost down to the right half-forward line for the Blues.
Nixon there for the Tigers, making position for this boundary throw-in. A little bit of non-productive football to start the second quarter. Glascott on the bottom of it, holding the ball according to the umpire. Play on now. Streaming away was Huntington. He feeds it inboard to Thompson. Thompson kicks it long into the centre, and dropping back, taking a well-judged mark for Carlton was Alvin. He feeds it off to Hunter. Hunter elects to go wide. Centre wing, outer side. Mark taken by David Kernahan. 5 or 6 possessions to Kernahan in his first match for the Blues. He gets it back, kicks it long towards the forward pocket area. Brother Stevens on the end of it, and he takes the mark 40 metres out, hard up against the boundary line.
I wonder how many times we'll be saying that this year.
Well, that was a la the Cracker Boys, wasn't it? Great stuff.
Stephen Kernahan kicks a short one into Stephen Silvani. I don't know whether that covered the distance. In again to Stephen Kernahan. He's closer to goal. Plays on. Shoots for goal. And misses.
It was very loose checking then. Kevin Bartlett on the phone, and rightly so. All the Richmond defence went to sleep.
So it will be Phil Huntington to bring the ball back into play. Coming grandstand side and straight over the line. Michael Pickering, most unimpressed. As Tom Alvin will bring the ball back into play. He's had a good game so far, Alvin. Short to Glascott. They gained very little from that. Now they've come out to leave Kernahan in the square with Jess. Jess not letting him have a sniff of that ball, however, and it's fisted over the line for another throw-in. 15 metres around from the scoring zone. The Tigers leading by 10 points.
Satori in the picture doing the ruck work for the Blues. Spent most of the season last year on the sidelines. There's a chance for Nixon. Gets a kick out. Good mark taken by Goodwin. He plays on. Nearly intercepted by Hannah. His kick goes high towards centre wing. At the back of the pack. No one can really take possession of the football. Here's a chance now for Summers. He's tackled. Ducked his head. And the free kick goes to Carlton. Up towards centre half forward. Aitken drops a sitter. Murphy's there to pick up the crumbs. He can't really give any Carlton teammate a chance. Now Aitken. Gleeson. Nearly well tackled. Oh, he is now smothered with the football over the shoulder, says umpire Saville, and the free kick will go to Gleeson on the 50-metre line.
And all the Richmond supporters just gave him a fair bit of carry, that umpire then, and it was a pretty doubtful decision. The rule is that you've got to have time to get rid of the ball, and he certainly had that. Probably was it just a shade, but really, very hard to tell. I suppose the umpire was in the best spot.
Gleeson's kick to centre half forward, intercepted. Richmond defence playing well, restricting Carlton forwards' chances, and a great mark running with the flight of the ball by Dorotic on centre wing. He plays on. Familiar left foot kick as a beauty towards centre half forward. It's covered 60 metres, but a mark to the Tigers at centre half back, and it's their big ruckman Nixon doing well. Nixon with the football.
Nixon from half back, going in towards the centre. Notting pulled off the ball as he got the kick. How's the bounce for Alvin? Couldn't take it, but he's quick to effect the tackle. Shine it is who gets the hand pass out to Gleeson. Has a look, and he can have a bit of a run, but only go 10 metres as he steadies. In towards half forward. No mark taken. Satori was the target. Good clearing burst. Great play by the Tigers to push it out wide towards the wing. Can it be kept in play? Yes, it can. Dean Notting, who's kicked one goal, didn't have his sharpshooter boot on that occasion, and it goes out of bounds on the full, so Ian Aitken will bring it back into play. Short he goes, Glasgow. On half back. Kicking towards a fairly well, it's into the man on the mark. And a ball up to take place.
Well, that's got to be the mortal sin of football, doesn't it?
Yes, I had a coach that once said to me that if that ever happened, you'd cut your leg off, you'd never ever do it. And it's quite true, isn't it?
Who was the coach?
Ronald Dale. Just look, I think Carlton's just starting to muck around with the footy a bit. They're going short all the time, and they've got this huge breeze behind them, and they tend to be chipping and going sideways.
Ball there very close to the boundary line, and eventually went over. And 8 minutes into the second quarter, the Tigers hold a 10-point advantage, and the boundary throw-in is between wing and half forward. In Richmond's half-forward area, the ball comes free. Naily, desperation by Mitchell, and he forces the ball over the line, and we'll have another throw-in. This time it's slightly closer to the Richmond goal, just outside the 50-metre line.
Just while we have this momentary lapse on this flank, I do have some news for Carlton fans that I believe that the club has told Rhett Baynes he is no longer required. As we watch Wilson go onto the left foot, kicks in towards full forward. There was no one home, however, and Ken Hunter will see it over the line. Yes, I believe Baynes has been told by the club. I know that he is here at the ground tonight, so hopefully we'll be able to speak with him. But my information is that he was sacked on Thursday.
Obvious free kick picked out of that ruck contest. It goes to Dorotic. The Blues fiddling a little bit. Shine gets it off to Gleeson. Gleeson's beautiful left foot kick finds Hunter. Hunter on centre wing. Plays on. Kicks the ball up towards half forward. Satori flies. Can't mark. Chance for Evans. Closely contested by Bauer. Oh, poor tackle by Dennis on Huntington. And surely Huntington will take the free kick at half-back for Richmond.
It really is a technical fault in the tackling. Once you grab hold of someone, you must drop to your knees to stop your force of your body going forward. And dropping to your knees is the art of tackling.
Huntington kicks it down towards centre wing. It's over the back of the pack. Dorotic has Mitchell as his opponent, throwing himself on at Peters. Now another chance for Dorotic. Silvani goes in with class, feeds the ball out. High one up towards half forward, mark taken by Bauer. Made it look a little worse than it really was, and Bauer for the Tigers will repel that Carlton attack.
And just watching that incident, I've got an idea that Michael Mitchell may have a split lip. Nevertheless, Shine will clear the long hand pass, all set up. Bernie Evans, he can backpedal now and push it forward. He does so, but the boundary line is too close, and a throw-in will take place. Evans, who of course had really the ultimate disappointment last year, bouncing back in 88. 10 points the margin, however, at this stage, and it favours the Tigers. There's Wayne Peters. Nailey, under pressure, just gets a short kick. Notting with courage. Body over the ball. Silvani chases it, rips it off him. But the umpires come in. There's a bit of feeling in this game.
Yes, there's quite a bit, isn't there? And Carlton, I think, are being frustrated by Richmond. They're forced to go short, and they're forced to keep it in pretty tight. And this always happens, you know, with that frustration. A good side against the bottom side from last year. Let's hope everyone keeps their head here.
Dorotich and Andy Goodwin having a chat, and now Andy Goodwin being perhaps a little more harshly spoken to. He's saying, I'm okay. Let's settle it down. And let's have a bounce. It's on the outer side at VFL Park. The Tigers lead. By Saville and Howlett in charge, and of course we do have the emergency umpire here tonight, and he can run onto the ground at any time if he sees an infringement, as Nailey does it beautifully. Goes up towards Dennis at half forward, can't complete the mark. The Tigers clear through Palm, over centre wing, up towards the half forward line. Waiting down, doing it well is Silvani. Lovely hand pass to Hunter. Hunter goes even wider, but he set up Aitken, who ran straight into Goodwin. Play on is the call. Oh, there's been some great tackling. It's been fierce, and it's been very, very competitive. Here's Wilson. Short to half forward. Notting has kicked one. Steadies. Chips with a drop punt in towards full forward. Egan was at the back. Couldn't take the mark. They all came tumbling down on him. And one behind goes on the board.
He hasn't got some feel in the game.
How about that Wilson?
Oh, my golly. He's lively, isn't he?
McKenzie with the ball for the Blues. Kicks it in short. Interchange being done by the Blues. Phillips on and Evans off. Out towards half-back. Gleeson. Good tackle by Hogg. Ball runs free, close to the boundary line. Here's Wilson again. Another tough guy in Elvin, but the ball goes over and the boundary umpire will take control, and we'll have a throw-in. Half-forward flank, outer side.
Bernie Evans onto the bench. Dorotich from behind. Wins it with the left hand. Alvin trying to push it forward. Bomber James was there. Dorotich soccers it off the ground, but it goes straight to Nixon, who takes it. Backpedals to Jimmy Jess. The Ghost, a long kick up towards the 50-metre line. No mark is taken. Mitchell waits down. Whips out a hand pass towards Bomber James, who handles it like a bit of soap and eventually scooped it out the back door. Kennedy runs over the top. Still has the football, but great courage shown there, and the free kick will go the way of the Tigers, and Notting has another opportunity to score. He has one goal for the Tigers. Peter Wilson kicked their opening two.
Yes, what an excellent piece of football there. Really did show desperation, and he really is giving Ken Hunter a bit. Hunter's got his touches, but Dean Notting's look very, very dangerous up forward.
From 30 metres out. The drop punt on its way. Goal umpire has a good look and says all clear. Richmond 4-2-26. Carlton 1-3-9. And there'd be some concern, I would imagine, now at almost the 15-minute mark of the second term. The Blues just one goal on the board. That was kicked by Milhanner in the first term.
Scramble of players not far away from the centre circle, and the umpire will take control and we'll have a bounce. And the Blues really struggling across the half-forward line. Not moving the ball quickly enough, anywhere near quickly enough. Can't break clear again. Dorotich. Gleeson off the ground. Scramble again by Gleeson. He tries to tap on, but there's plenty of Richmond players there. Pickering can't get the ball away. Wilson's kick off the ground goes wide. A race on. Peters contested by Glasgow. He gets his kick up towards the forward pocket area. Silvani, very, very composed, kicks the ball straight across the face of goal, and it goes over the boundary line, 45 metres out from the Richmond goal, and we'll have a throw in. We've played 15 minutes of the second quarter, and Richmond lead by 17 points.
Dorotic having plenty to do and under plenty of pressure as James tries to chip one with soccer-style tactics, then has to go and affect the tackle. He's still got it at the bottom of that pack, but the umpire decides upon a bounce. 9 plays 26. 17 points the margin. Going up alone then was Andrew Phillips, who's come off the bench for Bernie Evans. And picture Michael Kennedy wearing 43. 16.5 minutes played just inside the 50-metre line. Dorotic trying to use the body again. Aitken tried to spread the pack, couldn't do so. And the free kick has been picked up. Or will he decide upon a bounce? Yes, I think he will.
Looks to me as though Dorotic is going off the ball and Sartori into ruck now. Just not really working that today.
Here is the bounce. Edging closer to goal, but ever so slowly as James hooks one with the left foot in towards goal. Off target, one behind over. Starting to do it in ones now. The Tigers, 4-3-27. 3 goals clear of Carlton.
McKenzie to kick the ball in for the Carlton side. Taking a long time to make that decision. Now he kicks it out wide, and he's really picked out Wilson. Wilson with the football. Cheekily bounces, then he gets around to give himself a bit of room to kick it up towards full forward. Punch away by the Carlton defence. Gleeson well tackled, but he's still held onto by Pickering, and the umpire awards a free kick to the diminutive Carlton rover come wingman. He kicks it out wide to Aitken. Contested by Mitchell, and Aitken takes the mark at half-back for Carlton. The big blonde fellow kicks it down towards the wing area. Big punch away by the Tigers. Close to the boundary line in front of Murphy and Phillips, and we'll have a throw in between wing and half forward, slightly favouring the Tigers.
What great aggression then from Nixon, that big thump, and it's worth a kick to them. Held up play just there, and they can really hang them out here now. They could go with a handy lead at half time, Richmond.
Well, it's close to siren time. Let's see what they can do as Phillips gets his first kick over Dorotic at centre wing, but they might have put the hand on the shoulder. Yes, said the umpire. And so John Dorotic will send Carlton into attack, and they badly need a result from this little foray forward. Down towards the half-forward line. Thump clear. Palm did it nicely as he got it across to his teammate, who pushed it wide towards the boundary line. And again, the Tigers will come away out of trouble as the kick from Phil Huntington goes up towards the left half-forward flank. Sartori it is over the line. 1-3 plays 4-3. The Tigers in control at the moment. Carlton having been kept goalless this quarter so far. Sartori won it. Phillips down towards Dennis. Couldn't take it. Huntington taps it on cleverly, but couldn't find his man, unfortunately. Now he's found Wayne Peters, who goes with a snap up towards the half-forward line. Silvani butters up well. Just past Glasgow on that occasion. Well done, Silvani, who worked very, very hard. Got it off Bomber James. Glasgow says, "Excuse me, I'm trying to get a kick," but it was touched as it went over the line, and so a throw-in to take place.
Wasn't much room there, was there?
No, he didn't have much room at all.
David Glasgow, one of the veterans now of the Carlton side. Coming up to nearly the 40th minute of football, and Carlton have managed 1 goal. I'd say that Robert Walls very dissatisfied at half-time. Sartori gets the tap down. His ruck work has been effective since he's been there in the last 5 minutes. David Kernahan's kick up towards the centre. Dorotic go for the ball, not the player. Richmond, there was Huntington. Mitchell out wide. Nixon, strong play. David Kernahan throwing himself on the ball. The siren sounds. Half-time at VFL Park, and the Panasonic Cup match shows the Tigers 4-3-27 and Carlton 1-3-9. The Tigers by 18 points.
A great performance by the Tigers, and it's not often, Robbo, that you can keep Carlton goalless for a quarter of football.
Tremendous performance by the Richmond side, patting each other on the back, great camaraderie, and I'd say they'd be very happy with themselves at half-time.
Carlton, on the other hand, walking back to the race, heads down, and perhaps a little bit of bewilderment surrounding the club there. No doubt after a grand final you come back to earth with a thud. Mr. Kernahan just looking down at the ground, wondering what we can do in the second half. Well, we'll have to wait and see for that, because it's half-time here at VFL Park with the Tigers 4-3-27, Carlton 1-3-9. $18 points the margin at half-time, favouring the Tigers, who kicked clear in the first quarter, managed to keep Carlton goalless in the second. In fact, they could kick only one behind. It's 1-3-9 Carlton, trailing Richmond 4-3-27. Well, time now to get punching here on our football coverage tonight, and to do that we've got to welcome Scotty Palmer and Punchlines.
Good evening, viewers. Let's go to Punchlines. Still drowsy after a knee operation, Carlton's Darren Ogier couldn't decide today where he wants to play, with the Blues, the Demons or the Kangaroos. Ogier has declared tomorrow D-Day. Bears boss Paul Cronin doesn't want the Kappa case to become a public spectacle or a slanging match between his club and the Swans. On both scores he could be disappointed. The Swans are threatening to prolong any clearance discussions. Don't be surprised either if the Victorian selectors look to former Gaelic footballer Jim Steins to help them out in the ruck. With Geelong's Damien Burke on a doubtful list for Victoria, Steins is looking good. Collingwood hopes to get Paul Hawke and Doug Barwick without going to appeal. I believe $80,000 for Hawke and $100,000 for Barwick could swing it. Jacko's always big news, and it's nice to know that he has made his lovely mum a member of his company, I'm an Individual Proprietary Limited. And the trend started by the likes of Gary Wilson, Rod Ashman and even Justin Madden seems to be over in football. Club reports that they don't expect any senior players to be sporting safety helmets this year. The elbows have been controlled. From now on, we can throw all these away, keep punching.
Thank you very much, Scott Palmer. And of course, Scotty with us right throughout the season. Well, Carlton kicked only one goal in a first half of football, and I just wonder what it's like in the rooms. Let's find out. Here's Dixie Marshall.
Well, Sandy, the players emerged from the ground very quietly, almost thoughtfully. They've now been taken behind closed doors for Robert Walls to talk to them en masse. What he's really upset about is that they're not kicking the ball long enough and they're not getting to the ball first. There is, though, this air of anticipation here, just a little bit more, and they're back in the game. As for injuries, none to speak of. Sandy.
Right, thank you, Dixie. Coming up shortly, our preview of the game. In fact, right after this break.
Former West Australian Michael Mitchell may be only in his second season of VFL football, but he's already created a big impression since moving to Richmond. Mitchell proved his worth to the Tigers not only by playing in all 22 games last season, but also by contributing 37 goals in 1997, just 6 less than the club's leading goal kicker Michael Roach. A tremendously talented ball handler, Mitchell is one of the game's quickest players.
And for just a little bit of trivia, the boys out at Punt Road find Michael very, very hard to beat at chess. Well, he started extremely well, didn't he, Robbo? Being instrumental in getting the ball out of the middle on those first 2 goals.
Well, it was tremendous stuff by Richmond right from the start. They were very, very desperate. I thought Nixon did well in the ruck. And you mentioned Mitchell getting the ball forward, and Wilson, a desperado up in the forward line, kicking the first 2 goals.
Yes, it's been certainly very, very live. Here's a shot of Phil Egan. This is be Wilson's first goal. And Wilson, he's got that air of aggression and superiority about him, hasn't he? He really does throw something onto their forward line. And with the big fellas now, Bartlett setting it up like the old Richmond days and just getting the ball off hands. And I think we're going to see a lot of goals scored like that from Richmond this year. There's the fist on again.
Well, he doesn't mind the goals either, Peter Wilson, and certainly gives the opposition players a nice rev and gets the message across. And I thought our players up the field were making it very difficult for Carlton players to break away. They're tackling, they're harassing, they're chasing, and they're desperate. We saw Notting throwing himself on the ball there at full forward there at one stage, yes. And their performance so far has been excellent.
Have you been surprised, gentlemen, at all by the performance of Carlton? I think many people may have thought, right, they won the premiership last year and did it in grand style. They're going to be absolute champions this year.
That's the beauty of footy though, Sandy. Everyone starts off again. And Obviously, Kevin Bartlett's thrown a bit of enthusiasm into the camp. It's a whole new season for them. And I think there's a lot of young kids out there. I've liked a couple, actually. One lad off the half-back line, Paul Morris, tall, quick, you know, very dashing player. A couple of really good moves.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for those comments. We mentioned earlier in our telecast that Rhett Baynes was told by the club earlier this week his services were no longer required. I think now he's down on the ground with Peter Donegan.
Yes, Sandy. Well, as you say, Rhett is here with me. You were given your marching orders on Thursday. What happened?
Yes, it's not the best circumstances to be making an appearance on TV, but Thursday night I trained Tuesday night at the club, and the match committee saw fit to give me the flick after 2 nights training, after I'd been told I could have 7 weeks to prove myself.
All right, well that was after a back injury. Now, if anyone's at fault, who would you point the bone at?
I can't really point the bone at anyone. All I can say is that the match committee, not the administration, made the decision to give me the bullet, and that the people that were involved in that, probably a couple to talk to would be Colin Kinnear, the reserves coach, and perhaps Wes Lofts, the chairman of selectors. We've only got time for one more question. Any interest from other clubs? Yeah, there are. There's 3 clubs that are interested. I've already trained with one of those. And over the next 3 or 4 days, I'll train with the other 2 and find out which is the best place to go for my personal development, and also as far as a proposition for the finals goes. All right, Rhett, well, no doubt we'll hear more, and whether the salary and contract situation with the VFL makes it any easier, we'll find out some more. The best of luck to you, but Sandy, that's the situation with Rhett Baynes.
Plenty of drama there. Rhett not too happy with the Carlton match committee. We'll take a break. More from VFL Park in just a moment. Welcome back. For those friends of Malcolm Blight's daughter Melanie, do not ring her between 6 and 6:30 on weeknights, because she's sitting in front of the television learning all about the Fletcher family, isn't she, Malcolm?
Oh, my word, yes, she loves it. Home and Away.
Yes, well, there it is.
Great title.
5:30 in Adelaide, of course, 6 o'clock in Melbourne, and 7 in Perth. Quarter-by-quarter scores here at VFL Park. Well, we know the half-time score, and that Richmond lead by some 18 points. But we've got big action tomorrow at VFL Park, the double-header. The Hawks take on the Brisbane Bears, and Geelong will tackle St Kilda. Should be 2 great games of football, and of course you'll be able to see all the action on 7 if you can't make it down to VFL Park. Let's have a look at some of the stats, gentlemen, in that first half, and firstly from the Tigers, Mike Mitchell.
Well, he did very well, as you mentioned, while we were wrapping the game up at half-time, that he was a key player in getting the ball out of the centre, and very much led to Richmond's first 2 goals, kicked by Peter Wilson. He's a very important player, Mitchell, to the Richmond side, always at the bottom of the packs, running with the football, and has done it exceptionally well. His statistics don't look all that brilliant, but his tap-ons, his moves around the pack have been great.
Another player for Carlton who's certainly picked up his share of kicks is Ken Hunter.
Yes, it's been an interesting contest. Dean Notting's kicked 2 goals and has about the same stats as Hunter. Hunter's picked up his kicks because in a low-scoring game, 2 goals, 50% of the Richmond score, I guess you could say that Notting would just be shading Ken Hunter at this stage.
And the man Robbo wants to meet in a dark alley, wearing number 19 this year, is Peter Wilson.
Have a look at that. And his statistics have been very, very good up until at this stage of the game. The 2 goals that he kicked certainly gave Richmond a spark, although I feel in the rooms before the game they were ready, Richmond, and Wilson went right on with it.
Well, another one trying pretty hard in defence for the Blues is Tom Alban.
Yes, pretty handy stats. He's a very good player, isn't he? Always running up, linking up. Him and Ken Hunter combined very, very well, I thought. And I think that without those 2 players there, although Notting has kicked his 2 goals, Alvin and Hunter have really kept the game together at the back for Carlton.
And Robbo, one young man who's certainly been pretty impressive has been Richard Nixon, wearing the number 36 Guernsey.
Well, he's the player that I think has made the big difference between Richmond being in the position they're in, on top of the Blues at this stage of the game. Very good in the centre bounces and doing well around the ground.
And finally, John Dorotich, who's been up against him a lot of times.
Yes, got some hit-outs, but certainly got on top from Nixon. Nixon playing very well.
OK, here we go into the 3rd quarter. Can the Tigers hold their lead? And Malcolm, I might ask you to see if Carlton have swung in any changes. I know one suggestion you wanted to see, and that was Wayne Harms on the ground. In fact, you were keen to see him come out and start in the centre.
Yes, I thought that Harms, you know, at this stage, if he's fit enough to be in the 21, why not get him out on the ground? I think he might be. Well done. Gee, well done, Wolsey.
Well, he's certainly out there, just in the background, behind the umpire, about to bounce the ball.
And good to see him with no bandages on either leg. From the tap, pushed towards the line. Peters had an airy. Notting lends support. Gets a quick kick. Aitken will intercept this, but the line may beat him. It does. And so a throw-in will take place. (1-3) plays 4-3. Throw in. 65 metres from goal. No effective winner. Pickering tried to burst his way through. Lost the football, however, and they all converge on top. And so another ball up will take place.
Just looking at Harms, putting him out on a half-forward flank on the dead side, I don't know, I think I'd be throwing him around the ball a bit more. Just see if he can liven the whole thing up.
Dorotich up high. Here's a chance for Hunter. Breaks clear, kicks it out in the Harms direction, but chipping in front, a good mark taken by Palm for the Tigers. Another rugged customer, David Palm, kicks the ball towards centre half forward. Here's a mark to Richmond. Coming out in front is Hogg, and he takes the mark 40 to 45 metres out directly in front. And what a great start this could be for Richmond to the third quarter. They lead by 3 goals. Hogg could make it 4.
That will certainly put the pressure on the Blues as Jeff Hogg comes in with a drop punt. The goal umpire hardly moves. A great goal. Richmond 5-3, 33, leading Carlton 1-3-9, and the pressure now right on John Dorotich and the Blues. Can he win the ball out of the centre? Here's the bounce. It's one that didn't really favour him. It was socket wide. A chance for Peters again. He has support in the form of Pickering. Looks for the hand pass. Gets it clear. The Tigers look good as they go into attack again. The long high kick goes down towards full forward. James is there. He's got support too in the form of Hogg. The latter was unable to mark. And a throw-in will take place.
Gee, what a disappointing kick into the full forward line. Should have really hit the goal square then as Bernie Evans looks on after a quiet start to the game.
This came in from Craig Smith, but he was just unable to get it in the right spot. But they've got it in their attacking zone. Hogg tries to palm it down. An attempt to push it forward by Egan. Perhaps gained the club just a few metres closer to goal. Almost $500,000 prize money at stake in this competition. So great incentive for the clubs to do well. Dorotich taps it from behind down towards Alvin, who gets a hurried kick towards Glascott. Can't pick it up at the first attempt. Under plenty of pressure though, and the ball is rushed over the line.
Gee, just looking at the rest of the ground, we've got 4 players up at the Carlton full forward end, and everyone else is past centre.
That's it. Here's the throw in again. Dorotich doing it from behind, but he used his body to get it to Nailing. Down towards centre wing. Silvani on the second grab. Swings onto the left foot. No one at home though. Nixon was there. Harms almost did it beautifully. His opposition taps it forward. Bauer gets it clear to Palm. Intercepted wonderfully well by Silvani. He steadies. Kicks in towards that pretty vacant forward line. Hannah is in front and has the football. Very clear up forward. Hannah's going to try and run through. He gets past one but can't get past the second. Tried to give it to Kernahan. He was bundled out of it. Palm goes in. Picks it up now. Thinks about the hand pass. Eventually goes over the top. Shouldn't have, because it went straight to Nailey, who fires one in towards full forward. Mark not taken. Jess, will he go for the boundary line? He keeps it in play. Hooks it back. Has a quick look. Phillips is there. Solidly met. No one able to get it. Eventually Bauer does, but he's ripped off the football. The pressure really on Nailey as he's bundled across the top of the pack. And finally the umpire will come in and have a bounce.
Is it almost time for Ken Hunter to be thrown up forward? How many times have we seen him in that role? And they really are struggling to kick goals, Carlton, so they really must do something up forward, and perhaps Hunter's the one.
Well, your coaching moves have been correct so far, Malcolm, so I guess it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, their forward line just not functioning at all. Here's a chance now for David Kernahan. He kicks it high out towards the outer side forward pocket for Carlton. Hannah leads young Huntington in the race for the ball, but it goes over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in about 40 metres around from the Carlton goal, and boy do they need one. There's Kevin Bartlett. Is that a pleased look on the coach's face? Well, maybe not at this early stage of the game. Boundary throw in. Nixon and Sartori. Nixon doing the right thing, getting in front. There was a chance there for Craig Smith. He couldn't break clear. The ball comes up towards full forward, and a spectacular mark taken by Stephen Silvani. Hanging in the air, could be a penalty, 15 metres against the Richmond player there. No, says the umpire. And Silvani will go back and have a shot from directly in front, only 20 metres out from goal.
Just looking at that replay then, it's a perfect lesson for anyone, is that if your man goes in the forward line, he's a forward player, and you're a defender, it doesn't matter who else goes, who else is around, you always go with your man. Fancy letting Silvani have an easy run at the ball like that. They're certainly going to pay the penalty.
We'll see if they do now, as Silvani comes in for Carlton's second goal, and he has kicked it. 18 points the margin, 5-3 to 2-3. Let's see if Carlton can get a little more consistency into their game now, particularly on the scoreboard. They trail by 3 goals. Harms, Dorotich, Kernahan at the bottom. Tigers. Here's the bounce again, still virtually in the middle. Nixon had a decent old charge at that and won it, but straight down to Alvin. He's put under plenty of pressure. Dorotich tries to do the shepherding and the bullying work, and unimpressed was Ian Robertson and Malcolm Blight at that particular decision. Nixon, however, the recipient of the free kick. Hunter sets himself. It's in front of the pack. Couldn't quite take it. Notting under pressure. Now Gleeson or at Aitken? Aitken it is. Back towards Harms. Intercepting was Bomber James. A hurried kick. Danger here for the Blues as Jeff Hogg snuck clear and will have a shot 40 metres out.
Yes, Warren McKenzie's played him pretty close, and in the last 5 minutes this will be his second shot at goal, and he's really starting to guess where the ball went. You can't do that up at the back there under that sort of pressure.
Jeff Hogg, 1 goal only minutes ago. Pretty important kick for the Tigers if they can kick clear again. He's off target, well off target, out of bounds on the foot. Bad luck for Hogg on that occasion.
Well, I think that indicates how difficult the breeze must be down at ground level, Sandy.
So Ken Hunter, he certainly had a pretty busy evening to bring the ball back into play. Here come grandstand flank, obviously, towards the 50-metre line. Aitken is held out of the ball, and this allowed Nixon in. The big fella goes right across goal. Wilson is there, and he takes it.
Gee, what intelligent play from young Nixon then. I mean, he saw Wilson there by himself and an excellent kick. Hasn't he got good skills? He has been a very good player tonight. 50 metres is the distance.
The drop punch on its way. It's a good-looking kick. It's a beautiful-looking kick. I think he's kicked it. Great goal by Wilson. Wilson kicks his third. The Tigers kick clear again. 6-3 to 2-3.
Chance for Dorotich. Gets it off to Gleeson. Gleeson's quick left foot kick to centre half forward. Silvani looks as though he's in that key position now in the Carlton side. He kicks it out quickly. Here's a chance now for David Kernahan. Steadies. Long ball in towards full forward. Satori at the back. Hannah can't get his foot to the ball. It's rushed through from behind to the Blues. 23 points the Tigers lead by. Nearly 11 minutes gone in the third quarter. Mackenzie's been replaced for Carlton as Huntington kicks the ball in for Richmond out towards the outer side, and he finds Goodwin. Another tough-looking customer is Andy Goodwin for the Tigers. He swings around onto the right foot and kicks it towards the centre wing area. No mark taken. James backs up quickly. Tackled by Aitken, pushed when he didn't have the football. Play on, says the umpire. Elvin's left foot kick finds Hannah. A little bit of fortune, good fortune there for the Blues, and Hannah will put Carlton into attack. He plays on quickly, gets the handball wide to Gleeson. Gleeson's short pass, intercepted. No, it's not. It's marked by David Kernahan at half forward for Carlton, 55 metres out from goal.
Kernahan's kick in towards half forward. Some pushing and shoving went unnoticed on that occasion. Bauer tunnel ball out the back door. Socket forward again, however. Still a chance for the Blues. It was Phillips, now Harms, looking for Nailey. Can't find him. Bauer intercepted. Pickering at the bottom of the pack. Nailey can't get clear. Fraser Murphy can. These are the ones Fraser kicks. And he does this time too. So Murphy kicks his first. And the Blues third. 3-4. Trailing the Tigers still.
Gee, there was a lot of scrambling stuff there, and kick truly, Fraser Murphy. He's been very quiet, but he is capable of doing that. And Carlton need a lot more of them as Bernie Evans comes onto the ground to replace Mark Nayley. And that's where they've really let themselves down, around the packs. And I think that Richard Nixon, really has controlled the air, and he's given his smaller guys first look at the footy.
6-3, plays 3-4. Richmond lead and goal for goal in this quarter at the moment. Nixon again doing it well from the middle, but it's Gleeson who tried to take it away. Stopped by Palm. He was under plenty of pressure. Goodwin. James. Out the back. Bow. Onto the left foot. A high kick. Aitken in front. Didn't try to mark, just tried to push it down, but Wilson was there. Phillips. Pushed as he takes a high kick going in towards the middle. Dorotich up, perhaps a fraction early. Waiting down Gleeson. With time, has the running players. It's Phillips again. He's picked up plenty of touches, but his kick goes straight to Jess, who was met pretty solidly. But the Ghost will bounce back. Lovely looking drop punt. Back towards the centre again. Aitken and Dorotich, the defenders. Spoil. Waiting down. Notting. Does it well. Oh, Mitchell's loose. At half forward, he can run into goal. Go on, they say. He steadies. Fires with a drop punt and puts through another one for the Tigers. Michael Mitchell kicks his first and the Tigers' 7th. 7-3, 45 to Carlton, 3-4, 22.
Well, the Blues under a lot of pressure. Here comes Wilson to get the ball out of the centre for Richmond again. A poor kick this time lands right in the arms of Shine. And poor kick by Shine. High, wide, out towards half-back, member's side. Peters over the top. Chance there for Hogg. Keeps the ball in. Nodding. Handball on. Here's a chance coming up for Summers. He gets the handball off to Peters. Peters snapshot to the front of the goals. Gleeson's under pressure. Chasing is Egan. Pickering there for Richmond. Good tackle by Kennedy and keeps the ball in for Carlton.
Look, I think Carlton have really got to do it again, and that is take Dorotich out of ruck. Nixon's absolutely slaughtering him in the centre of the ground, and they're going forward at every opportunity. I think some move's got to be made there again.
Tremendous desperation being shown by the Tigers in particular at the moment. They hold their lead on the scoreboard. Aitken, a chance to clear. Very ordinary sort of defensive work. Can they get out of it? Peters picks it up. Lovely to Wilson. He'll flick it back in towards Mitchell. Can't take it. Evans going with him. They bottle it up. Kennedy looking for the free kick.
Gee whiz, the player on the bottom of the pack hasn't got much of a chance, has he?
No chance at all on that occasion. So it will be Bernie Evans to clear. Close to the man on the mark. He goes to the half-back line. Kernahan comes up from the back. Can't complete the mark. Mark Summers is on the ground. But going over the line is Brendan Barr. And a throw-in to take place. 7-3, plays 3-4. Midway through the third quarter. Third and fourth quarters, of course, of 25 minutes duration. Gleeson, a hurry kick in towards the middle. Alvin chasing. It's a shocking leg break. Gleeson, taken out of it by Bauer, goes to ground. They pounce upon him. The umpire on that occasion said no. A line ball. Let's bounce it and see if we can clear it away. You can see someone running down the ground. It looks as though Carlton may be starting to make a couple of changes. We'll keep an eye on those. Dorotich can't get it clear. Phillips, well tackled. Goes down on Bomber James in turn. And yet another bounce. Bit of a stalemate at the moment, Robbo.
Yes, a bit of unproductive football there for the last few minutes. The ball about 60 metres out from the Richmond goal. Satori now in the ruck. Another one of Malcolm Blight's suggestions. A Richmond hand pass over the top. A good tap on. Here's a chance now for Craig Smith. Can't quite control the football, and the play only 20 metres out from the Richmond goal. Carlton desperately need a goal. Richmond leading by 23 points, and we're 16 minutes into the third quarter. Bounce of the ball. Sartori gets it down to Aitken. He's fumbling badly. Looking very much in need of this run. And the ball goes over the boundary line at half forward, and we'll have a throw in. Fraser Murphy in the picture. Kicked a very, very badly needed goal for Carlton earlier on in this quarter. And we've played 56 minutes, and the Blues have only been able to kick 3 goals. So I wonder whether their forwards are at fault or we give credit to the Tigers' defence. The play there, Goodwin kicks it off the ground. Glasgott's a chance. Oh, Bauer was going to knock him right off the planet, but he ducked in the right time. And the play now between wing and half forward in Richmond's forward zone, and we'll have a bounce about 10 metres in from the boundary line. Phillips drags himself up off the ground.
And he just got out of the way on that one. This is the bounce again. It's very, very congested. Sartori, who's replaced Dorotich in the ruck. Wilson got a hurried kick. Might have hurt his shins too when he took that. And a throw in to take place. In the hands of the trainers at the moment. Let's hope he's okay. Let's hope it's not a knee or anything like that, because that would be tragic at this stage of the year. Although leaning on that elbow, I think he might be okay.
I think he'd be in more pain, or look as though he'd be in more pain if it was.
You'd never know with him.
He's a tough customer.
Pretty tough customer. Yes. They're taking no chances, and he'll come straight from the ground. Or will he? I'm sure he will. We'll keep an eye on him. Here's the throw-in. Free kick's been picked out of that for a push. Will go the way of Andy Goodwin. So Goodwin stabs a drop punt up towards the half-forward line. Good attempt to mark, not quite successful. Egan tries to get it over the top. Close to the boundary line. Peters, no, it beats him. And so a throw. Yes, Peter Wilson leaving the ground, being carried. And he's not putting any weight on that leg at the moment, so let's hope that he is okay. McKellar, Alan McKellar comes onto the ground. He might be right in the thick of things now. No, the ball's going to elude him. Goes to ground. Shine is at the bottom, trying to get it out. Can't do so. And yet another baller. Goodwin, who we found on plenty of occasions tonight at the bottom of the pack, burrowing in, trying to get it out.
Yes, he's a tough customer. Wilson, unfortunately for Richmond, a key player, I'm sure, in the Tigers' hopes for 1988, taken off the ground in the third quarter of the first Panasonic match for the year for the Tigers. The ball in the centre, at the back of the pack. Chance now for Richmond to go forward again. A high kick towards centre half forward. What a great mark taken in the front of the pack by Egan, right on the 50-metre line. And Philip Egan's not a bad kick of the football. And a chance now for Richmond to post their 8th goal.
Well, isn't that fantastic? The arm extension is the most important thing in marking. Arms have got to be straight and take the impact of the ball. And that was a perfect lesson of how to keep your arm straight and perpendicular at the football.
Egan, very, very deliberate. Beautiful long kick, straight through the centre. Egan's first.
And the Tigers kick clear again. Three goals for the quarter, Richmond. They move to 8-3.
Here we go, back into the centre of the ground. You notice here, this area here at the back, that's where Nixon's doing his damage. The Richmond players are running to that spot. That bounce not quite as good, but that's where they've been running to.
From that bounce, Jess is at the bottom of the pack. Kernahan applying the pressure. And Kernahan a bit of a smile and says, OK. And Jess follows him back to pick him up. The Tigers at the moment withstanding anything Carlton can throw at them. Sartori.
Nixon put the foot out in the free kick against him.
Stepping ladder. In towards half forward. Oh, big pack flies. No one able to take it. Glasgow off hands. The bounce. Not good for him. Out of bounds. Right forward pocket. 8-3. Plays 3-4. The Tigers in control. This quarter, I always thought Carlton may make the charge. It hasn't occurred. They've opened up the gap. Almost 22 minutes have elapsed in this third term from the throw-in. Dorotich and Nixon. Dorotich edged him out on that occasion, got a hurried kick, gathered little distance however. Ducking his head, Goodwin, but got the kick. Danger though, straight to Sartori, who steadies, goes in towards full forward, and Kernahan and Jess
Must be a chest mark. Man in front. Must be a chest mark.
No argument there from Steve Kearney. Man in front. Been a good duel, this one, actually.
Yeah, excellent.
But Jess in front. Got his hands to it. Pickering in trouble with that left leg.
See, he's been a very handy player. Him and Wilson hurt. Very dangerous.
Phillips kicks the ball into full forward. Kernahan can't mark at the back. Hanna can't get his foot to the ball. Chance for Silvani. Can't break clear. 3 Richmond tacklers there. Tremendous play by the Tigers and holding the ball against Stephen Silvani. Frustration there on the face of young Stephen Silvani, but the Tigers do it well and will come clear through Jess. Jess punts the ball out towards half-back. A group of players. A good punch away there by Summers. He goes after it again. Phillips on the bottom of it. Can't quite control it, and it goes over the boundary line for a throw-in as Michael Pickering is carried off the ground. And what a disastrous start injury-wise this will be for Richmond if Wilson and now Pickering have serious injuries.
Sikorsky will be the man to replace him coming onto the ground, but that is bad news for the Tigers. Let's hope they're not too severe. David Kernahan at the bottom of that pack. There is Mike Pickering.
You certainly remember his first game as captain, won't he?
Dorotich tried to put the leg out on that occasion too. Silvani traps it beautifully. Gets clear out of the back of the pack. His kick, however, is a poor one. Under pressure, though.
What fantastic pressure from Thompson then. Wasn't it excellent?
They're really having a dip. 22 plays 51. The Tigers still in control. The Kernahan boys are both there. Dorotich has an airy. Glasgow out the back to Evans.
Evans kick around the corner into the pocket, and it's tremendous mark taken by Jess. And he looks as though he's in for a good 1988 Jimmy Jess. Back in defence. He kicks the ball out towards the centre wing area. Flying high from the back was Summers. At ground level, McKellar gets the handball out wide. Summers again. Quick kick from a standing position up towards the wing. Punched away from Sikorsky by Alvin. Over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw-in on centre wing. Richmond doing it well. The unfortunate sight of Michael Pickering limping up the players' race. Already Wilson off the field with what looked to be a knee injury, and now Michael Pickering in the same condition.
Yes, disappointing news. Satori front spot. Couldn't get the ball clear. Out the back, Harms. Across to Shine. Put Aitken under tremendous pressure, but he shrugged the tackle well and got out of it. Waiting in front was Glasgow. The player going past is Tom Albin, and Carlton are clear. Up towards their half-forward line. Dorotich drops back. He had plenty of pressure put on him. Silvani caught, but he gets clear with a hand pass. Out wide. Here's a chance for Murphy again. He snaps in towards the pocket. Gleeson is there. Can he get clear? He's only got to go over the top, and he does to Dennis, who goes. So Richard Dennis has kicked his first, and the Blues fourth. 4-4-28 to Richmond. 8-3-51.
Well, it's at that stage of the game now. This is excellent team play by Carlton, who have fiddled around a lot with the football tonight. But it's just at that crucial time now with those two experienced players going off that were both playing well, Pickering and Wilson. Now's the time that Richmond have to really push home. It is now time on. This is when usually the good sides kick goals. Richmond must stop this.
Yes, just into time on. Satori can't get the ball clear. Umpires picked a free kick out of it. It'll go to Richmond, and it'll go back to the very near the centre circle to Nixon.
They've been able to answer the challenge when Carlton has thrown it down. Let's see what they can do this time.
Tremendous job done by this young fellow in the ruck. Kicks the ball out towards half-forward flank on the member side, and Egan leaving his opponent in his wake and takes the mark at half-forward. Philip Egan for Richmond. Kicked a fantastic goal a few moments ago. Gets good distance with this kick up into the pocket. It's at the back of the pack. Tigers, can they get their foot to the ball? Carlton desperate. Evans. Quick kick out of the pack. Egan. No mark. Phillips. Kennedy there for Carlton. Left foot kick close to the boundary line will be marked by Richmond, and it'll be taken by Stephen James. And we might get a penalty here against Aitken. Yes, we will.
50
metres. This is going to be an interesting one.
Well, it's got to be 5 metres out from goal because the mark was taken at the 55-metre mark.
Yes, actually, the intimidation on Aitken's face in coming into him showed the umpire that he was going to do it. It was quite silly, actually.
He's right to the square.
Actually, I reckon he's within a centimetre. They've been having practice at this 50-metre rule.
Well, we've said that so far Richmond have been able to answer every challenge they can throw. And that is no exception. There's another one to Bomber James.
Well, would that be... I wonder what everyone will think of that now, sitting at home and at the ground here. The first time it's really had an effect on the scoreboard and really was the goal that Richmond needed. Nixon still playing very well, forcing the ball forward. It's going to be interesting now to see Carlton's reaction as a team. Really was indiscriminate, wasn't it? 50 metres is a harsh penalty though, isn't it?
When you can do that, it certainly is. And the elation of the Tigers.
Well, they lead by 29 points, Richmond. And it'll be a difficult job for Carlton if they're to get up from here. David Kernahan, loose handball. Summers intercepts. Chance for Derui, now on the ground. Chased by Notting. Good shepherding by Alvin gives Derui the chance. Up towards half forward. Dorotic punches the ball on. Jess to pick up the crumbs. Can't control it and it goes over the boundary line and we'll have a throw in just slightly forward of the centre wing on the outer side.
A crowd of 14,185 in attendance tonight.
Dorotic doing the ruck work. Not a bad crowd considering. A little bit of rain earlier on in the evening. No one can break clear. Chance for Huntington. Tackled when he didn't have the ball and the umpires picked out the free kick. And it'll go to Philip Huntington at half-back for the Tigers. He's made a reasonable debut for a young player in his first match for Richmond. He turns and kicks it long towards centre-half forward. Over the back of the pack. Peters can't control it. Satori there for Carlton. On the bottom of it was Craig Smith. Now there's a chance for Peters. Tackled by Phillips. Ball runs free. Chance again for Smith. Quick kick. Intercepted by Shine. Breaks the tackle. Now handballs over the top. Glasgow running. Bounces once. He's going to be intercepted. Gets the kick away up towards half forward. And because of the pressure applied on Glasgow, Richmond were able to intercept and they get the ball back to Smith on centre wing.
Kick coming from David Palm. So Smith from the wing going up to the right half forward flank. No mark taken. Mitchell is waiting for the ball to scout out the back. It won't. Coming out with it was Alan McKellar, but the umpire's whistle had sounded. And so too has the siren. And another good quarter by the Tigers, who are able to answer the challenge. It's three-quarter time and Richmond 9-3-57. Great kicking for goal, lead Carlton 4-4-28. Welcome back. Malcolm Blight was just chatting away and he said, good show that, you know, beyond 2000. And of course you can see it immediately after a country practice, and both of those a great double on Tuesday night. And I certainly hope that you can sit back in your lounge rooms on Tuesday nights at 7:30 and watch those. Okay, let's have a look at the quarter-by-quarter scores here at VFL Park. And the Tigers, well, that was their best quarter to date. Carlton tried to throw everything at them by booting 3 goals, 1. But Richmond was able to answer the challenge. They booted 5 goals straight and are looking good. 9-3-57 to Carlton, 4-4-28. What are these players playing for? The clubs, I should say, are going to be taking $16,000. That's the winners. The losers have to be content with $8,000. If they make it through to the quarterfinals, it increases to 20, the semis to 30, and the grand final, the big one, of course, $60,000 to the winner and $30,000 to the loser. And of course, if the clubs are looking at the prize money, then the players are also looking at a good prize each game.
The player of the match receives this magnificent compact-sized variable power oven by courtesy of Panasonic.
And now for his thoughts on the game, Malcolm Blight.
What an interesting third quarter it was. Richmond kicking 5 straight goals. Carlton also having their best quarter for the game, kicking 3 goals. One of the more interesting things about the game so far has been the pressure applied by Richmond. And I think as we look at this snap from Fraser Murphy here, it wasn't an excellent goal too. Really the forward line of Carlton, they've really mucked around with the footy. Carlton have had 20 more possessions up to date than Richmond, Richmond tending to play this longer kicking type game, 2 centre-half forward, and young players like this Mitchell and Wilson earlier running by and taking the crumbs. A la Kevin Bartlett.
Yes, there's certainly the KB influence there, Robbo.
Well, I've been very impressed, as Malcolm said, by their pressure anywhere and everywhere over the field. Players being prepared to chase, and I mentioned at one stage the Carlton player getting the ball, I think it was Glascott, on the centre wing just before three-quarter time, and it was just the fact that the Richmond player kept at him and at him. Glascott's kick was ineffective, was intercepted by the Richmond half-back, and then they went back into attack.
Well, of course, it might have been a good quarter on the ground for the Tigers, but I hope they haven't paid the penalty for some ferocious work with a couple of injuries, because that could certainly harm them.
I think that, as I mentioned during the game, Kenny Hunter's got to play it forward.
Well, Malcolm Blight's done it again. Let's go down to the boundary line and check on those injuries. Here's Peter Donegan. Pete?
Sadly, unfortunately, we can't tell you a lot about the injuries. Peter Wilson and Michael Pickering are in the medical room at the moment. The doctors aren't releasing any reports because the game is still in progress, so all we're going to have to do is keep our fingers crossed. Dixie Marshall was out there at three-quarter time with Carlton. What did Robbie Walls have to say?
Well, he's understandably ropeable. He wants his players to commit body and mind, especially to the ball, especially when it's come off hands, and to get in front, up forward.
All right, well, can Richmond hang on? Will the Blues come back? We're about to find out as we go back to the commentary box and Sandy Roberts.
Thank you, Pete. Here we go. The final quarter. Been a good performance by Richmond for three quarters. Can they keep it up against the VFL reigning champions? Only time will tell.
Ineffective ruck work. McKellar at the bottom gets the free kick, and Richmond will go into attack. I don't think the Blues would have been too keen on that. Up towards half forward. Hogg there. Here's a chance now for Chikaski. Gets it out wide. Peters in the open, shoots for goal. Across the face, and it hits the behind post, and we'll have a throw-in. Right up against the Richmond behind post, deep in their attacking zone at the start of the quarter.
What Carlton does not want to start the last quarter.
No, you could wish for a few better things than that from the Carlton side. Richmond must score here.
Throw in. Dorotich beaten on that occasion. Opportunity for Mitchell. He goals. And what a start by the Tigers. So Michael Mitchell has kicked his second. He kicked one in the third quarter. And the Tigers going on with the job at this stage. 10-3, 63. Carlton 4-4, 28.
Actually, he's only had 6 possessions for the game, but he's been busy all night. 2 goals. He's a real barrel, and he really hits the pack hard, doesn't he? And it gives you that impression that he's probably had more touches than that. But he's been an excellent player for Richmond.
Now the pressure on the Blues. Can they come back?
Oh, I wouldn't have my money on them. Dorotich at centre bounce. Been ineffective in the ruck. There's the best man on the ground. Nixon gets another tap out. Up towards Summers. He gets the ball clear. Jakaski. Mitchell can't control it. Shine. Tough, strong. Tackled by Peters. Gets the ball out wide. No one can break clear. Shine in there again. But the umpire decides on a bounce at centre half forward for the Tigers. And Alvin. A bit of a worry for the Blues. Limping badly. Left knee by the look of it. Good punch on for Richmond again. Glascott there for Carlton. Kicks the ball high. Back towards the centre. Jess at the back. A big thump. Chance now for Smith. Smith gets it away to McKellar. Good tackle by Gleeson. Smith again. Kick up towards full forward. Who's at the bottom of the pack? Where are the Tiger small men in the forward zone? David Kernahan slips over, but he gets the handball wide. Mitchell in desperation. Throws himself on the football, then gets it wide to Smith. Smith's long shot for goal. Looks all right. Has it got the distance? No, it's tapped on the line. Carlton defence still under pressure as Notting throws himself on the football, and he keeps the ball in for the Tigers just in front of the 10-metre square, deep into Richmond's forward zone.
All starting with the Tigers in the opening minutes of this final quarter. Tommy Alvin still favouring one leg, but at the moment staying on the ground. The Blues win that tap out. It's Aitken. Clear on the boundary line. We'll look towards Hannah. Still tucked in the back pocket. Players streaming everywhere. What's Hannah got to kick to up towards the wing? Kernahan. Nixon kept out of it on that occasion. Gets the hand pass clear, but there's another example of the pressure being applied by the Richmond side as Gleeson tried to get his kick away.
Jimmy Jess just coming off the ground too.
Well, I hope he's okay, as I'm sure all Richmond fans do. Paul Morris goes forward again. Carlton trying to clear through Kernahan, who initiated the hand pass. Now it's with Glascott, shrugs one tackle, steadies, gets behind a drop punt going up towards the half-forward line. Silvani buffeted out of it. Hunter couldn't get near the ball. The Tigers a chance to clear, working in numbers. They've got the players running and they use them as they look good as they run out of defence through David Palm on the end of the handball. He gets it across to his teammate there in Peters. Steadies up towards the half-forward line. Tiger jumpers playing from behind on that occasion, and that leg of Alvin's appears to be okay as he goes to Kernahan.
David Kernahan's got a bit of space up towards the wing. Good positioning there by Evans. Good chasing by Mitchell, but Evans gets past as Mitchell falls over. Evans kick up towards half-forward. Kernahan under lots of pressure. Good play by the Tiger defence. The chance now for Harms. He had his moves made up before he even had the football, and he dropped it. Bauer picked it up and comes away through the centre. Kicks it long towards centre half forward, and Egan takes the mark. It's all Richmond. Leading comfortably, they're going right on with it. Egan kicks the ball long towards full forward. Out in front, no mark taken by Hogg. Dorotich drags his feet all over the top of him, and the umpire will come in and bounce about 35 to 40 metres out from the Richmond goal. Michael Pickering in the change rooms. No, back out on the bench, and a disconsolate looking Michael Pickering.
Here's the bounce. The Tigers leading the charge at the moment. Carlton in all sorts of bother as Derui tries to get it clear. He can't do so, but he gets it to Hannah. Hannah clear to Shine. Now to Gleeson, and out of trouble up to Kernahan. One hand, the other held. He tries to recover. The Tigers' tackling is still fierce. He was pushed in the back, and so the free kick will go the way of the Carlton skipper. His brother's having a little bit of a jostle behind play, but it goes on. Kernahan, Silvani over the line. Once again, the pressure applied. It was Mick Thompson putting it on then. And another throw in.
When Stephen Kernahan went for that last mark, there were 4 Richmond players pitted against him.
Here's the throw in. No one gets it effectively clear. They're still battling at the bottom of that pack. So the umpire decides upon a bounce.
It's going to be good to watch Simon Clark, who's just come onto the ground to look after Stephen Kernahan, who's doing the ruck work with him. A new player on a very experienced Stephen Kernahan.
Yes, he's wearing the number 18 Guernsey. Kernahan going up for the tap on that occasion. He got a hurried kick. And another one from Craig Smith takes the Tigers in towards the centre, where it's marked by Mark Summers. Summers has a look up forward. He goes towards that half-forward line, and a good mark coming in from the side has been taken by the youngster who was the draft choice, Wayne Peters. Got an idea they may have stuck him from Footscray. There's the kick. No one at home. Was it touched? I don't think it was. Almost a smile on KB's face there. Almost. 11-3 to 4-4. I reckon he could laugh at the moment. Wayne Peters has kicked his first after an extraordinary bounce straight through John Dorothy.
Would you like to have a few units on the TAB bet? There's 7 goals in front. I don't think anybody would have tipped Richmond to be this far in front. And we've still got 10, 15 minutes left of the last quarter, and they could quite easily go even further ahead. Chance now for Richmond. Quick kick out by the Blues up towards half forward. Silvani always trying. Pulled off the ball by Thompson when he didn't have control of it, and Silvani will take the free kick.
It's really been lively up forward since he's been up there, and now what they need is Hunter to get into the game a bit and kick some goals.
Kicks it out wide to Gleeson. Little bit of space. Good chasing by Thompson. Gleeson's kick up towards the forward pocket area. Big thump away by the Richmond defender in Clark, and it goes over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in some 20 metres around from the Carlton goal. 4 goals for. What a feeble effort for an evening of football.
Here's the throw in. They want goals and they want them fast. Sartori tries to flick it round the back. Can't do so. No one able to pick it up. And another ball up will be the result. Steve Silvani, great try at the bottom of the pack. Plenty of players around this ball. But the key Carlton men have been blanketed tonight. Mitchell trying to get the hand pass clear. He does to David Palm. Palm will flick it out towards the half back line. The player he's looking for there is Wayne Peters. One attempt, held, and free kick.
Excellent play by Richmond to switch play. Carlton build up their wall across half-back. Now it's been excellent play.
Peters, who's looked pretty good in his opening game, towards the centre, but it's tapped well forward once again. Now pressure on the Tigers as Kernahan gets clear, but he's off target. And 1 point only. Well, their scores have been few and far between, and perhaps they're being told something by that little shot.
Only 2 behinds for Stephen Kernahan.
Yes, I don't think they've used Stephen as well as they could have. A lot of mucking around with the football, a lot of short stuff.
Kick in by Richmond comes out to the half-back flank area. Mark taken by Goodwin. And a promising type is this young fellow, Andy Goodwin, at half-back. Kicks it towards centre wing, and another unattended player. Derui came through, kicked the ball up towards half-forward. Quick kick off the ground, lands in the hands of James. James, neat little chip pass, goes to McKellar. Looks a different player with short hair, McKellar. And he plays on quickly, kicks it up towards half-forward. Mitchell, the high flyer, couldn't grab it, but back at ground level, taps it on. Chance now for Sikorsky. Aitken in there, taps it on to Dorotic. Dorotic in.
I do apologise for that slight technical problem. I think a few Carlton fans might have been a bit upset with the result. Yes. Well, we shouldn't say the result because it hasn't finished yet, but it's as good as over, I think, because Peters has kicked a couple of sensational goals and the Tigers are really, really looking good at the moment. Great confidence as Palm gets a hurried left foot kick. It goes high. James unable to complete the mark. It's taken over the line. With him is young Kernahan, and a throw-in will take place. David and Steve, both Kernahan boys in action tonight. Here's the throw-in. Richmond have dominated boundary throw-ins and centre bounces, well, particularly in the form of Nixon, who's had an outstanding game. Palm getting the handball going to McKellar. Well, he put his teammate under plenty of pressure. That was young Phil Huntington. But doesn't matter, they're going to go forward. This is Craig Smith. He steadies, goes long up towards full forward. The whistle has sounded, however, and does he run too far? He has. Oh, right on that one. Right on it.
10.5 metres.
So Murphy up towards the half-forward line. Kernahan the target. Couldn't take it. But they've pressurised him all night. He goes in again, tries to bring the ball out. And a ball up being the only result.
There's our man Andy Goodwin on the bottom of the pack again, Sandy.
I wonder if he's into excavating, because he's down there all the time burrowing, isn't he? Yes. And look at that scoreboard. 12-3 to 4-5.
Bounce near the corner of the square. Chance for Carlton. Kick high towards half forward. 2 Richmond players, 1 Carlton. They've outnumbered the Blues on every occasion when the ball's hit the ground.
Yes, it's been the best part of their play.
Okay, as we wait for this throw-in, we saw Jimmy Jess leave the ground. How is he, Pete?
Well, Sandy, he should be okay. I just spoke to the doctor and he said it looks as though it's only bruised ribs. He was in a fair bit of pain for a little while, but now he's back out on the bench watching the Tigers sail to victory.
Certainly is. Thank you for that. Gleeson gets steamrolled. Play on is the call. The Tigers come away. That was Simon Clark. Down towards Stephen James. Solidly met on that occasion by Steve Derui. Dorotic clear in towards the middle. Coming over the top was Peters, effects the spoil. Still in the centre. The Tigers bounce it forward, but it's Evans who intercepts. Goes up towards the half-forward line. Bauer is there. Can't take the grab. The free kick has been picked up, however. He might have been held out. No, it's going to go against him. It's going to go to Ken Hunter. So Hunter has really been starved of opportunities since being moved.
Oh, gee, they're fiddling around Carlton, aren't they? They've been indirect for most of the night.
Gleeson has picked up plenty of kicks. And again, they go right across goal. No mark taken by Glascott. Play on is the call. He's got support through Silvani, and he'll need it too. Can he get clear? Yes, he can. But it's only a hurried kick taken by Hunter. They pounce upon him. He goes to ground, and eventually they'll get out of trouble. No, it's going to go out of bounds on the full. And, well, that would be the only mistake that he's made all night, Mr. Nixon, would it not?
Yes, he was pretty unlucky then. He did the right thing by going for the line, going in the touch, of course, but just went a bit too far.
It wasn't very subtle, though, was it? Sort of, where's the line?
You may as well have put it out over the grandstand.
Glasgow has the football for Carlton, 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. And a chance to kick the Blues' 5th goal. Not a bad-looking kick by David Glasgow, and he does kick Carlton's 5th.
12-3 Richmond, Carlton a 5-5, making a slight impression on the scoreboard as we go back for the centre bounce. Nixon again, and again he wins it. Was looking for wide towards Bomber James, couldn't find him on that occasion. Dorotich tries to farm it out, but it goes to the wrong Guernsey. Down towards Tommy Alvin, loses it. He does have backup support through DeRuy. His kick is short and not accurate because Peters, who's had a blinder of a last quarter, spears in a pass towards the half-forward line. It's effective, it finds Bomber James.
It was terrific to see Rick Nixon then get the tap and then affect the tackle of where the ball went to.
It's a real goer. James coming in for kick number 10. The left footer wobbles it off the boot, down towards the pocket, and the mark has been taken by Philip Egan. And he says, thank you for a lovely pass.
Almost picked him out, didn't he? Yes, it goes. When it runs, doesn't it, this game? It's like any game of football. You get on top and things start to happen for you. People get confident, and it's a very, very confident outfit out on the ground tonight.
Egan tucked on the boundary line. So he wouldn't be seeing too much between the big white sticks. The way the Tigers are playing, nothing would surprise if he threaded it. Nothing would surprise at all. So Philip Egan, post goal number 13, great kicking for goal, 13-3-81. And the Tigers are giving Carlton a bath at the moment.
What a great first up coaching effort, and what a marvellous kick. Kevin Bartlett, of course, kicked many goals, but he also missed a lot, Kevin, and I think he'd be very, very well satisfied with the way his charges performed tonight. And really, if you consider it, probably the 3 best players from Richmond are off the ground injured at the moment.
I think there's one still out there. He was going to go for that tap, but he didn't because it was an unfavourable bounce. Out of the middle, the Tigers go forward again. Craig Smith's kick goes up towards the half-forward line. They're looking good. Who's waiting down? The bounce. It wasn't good on that occasion for Mark Summers, and they bottle it up. Some 25 metres out from goal. McKellar, he seems to be quite okay. Dorotich again, now Evans. Carlton small men have been conspicuous by their absence tonight. A tackle that was considered too high and not appreciated by some.
I don't think Carlton needs Stephen Kernahan to get reported.
That would be the last
suspensions and injuries that they've already got in front of them now. There's frustration shown there by him. He's found it difficult to get kicks all night, and now they're facing an 8-goal defeat. And he needs to keep his record very, very clean.
I'd like to know who the seams person was who put the number on Stephen's back tonight. You know things are going bad when your number's not centred right.
Well, let's have a look at this again and just see how high it was.
Whoops, want to dance.
Not a subtle tackle. Now, they've been carrying on out there. The decision has been reversed. The ball will have to come back. Careful, David Palm. In the closing stages of the game, the last thing you want to happen is to be reported. The decision has been reversed. Kernahan kicks Carlton out of trouble, looking for Ken Hunter.
Up towards the centre half forward position for Carlton. Umpire decides that a bounce should take place. Just thought the umpires may have been losing control just then for a minute or two. But the scoreboard 13-3-81. Richmond, Carlton 5-5-35. Richmond steamrolling the Blues. Dorotich. Chance for Gleeson. Intercepting is Mitchell. Good play by Michael Mitchell. Evans there, hasn't had a touch. Gleeson again, has done very well. Off to Dorotich. Dorotich up towards full forward. Satori can't mark. Chance for the Blues now. Handball on. Silvani, well tackled from behind. Beautiful. Hunter got his foot to the ball, but it was over the line, through for a behind before Hunter could kick it. But what a sensational tackle from behind by the Richmond defender.
Yes, great play.
Marvellous. And Silvani's hurt himself. And what a great chase and great desperation from Thompson then. Wasn't it? I mean, that's what footy's all about, to make the other player earn a kick.
Kick in finds Bauer. Bauer onto McKellar. McKellar up towards the wing, only to find Dorotich standing firm. Sikorsky tries the tackle on Dorotich. He gets it away to Glasgow. Onto Aitken. Aitken inside 50 metres to Murphy. Murphy shoots for goal from 45 metres out. It's across the face, through for a behind to the Blues when they badly need goals, which even then would only make their score look respectable.
5-7 to the Tigers, 13-3. Phil Huntington brings the ball back into play. Straight to Nixon, who's had a wonderful evening out here at VFL Park tonight. Been a magnificent performance. And when you consider they've got Mark Lee still to come back, and of course players like Dale Waitman, the Tigers could surprise a lot of people this year as Bomber James goes in towards full forward. It's a beautiful pass and they're looking the goods.
I suppose in saying that also, Sandy, with who's in and who's out.
I know, Carlton, there'd be a who's who of football. There's Sikorsky, but we're with Jeff Hogg at the moment, who kicked a goal in the third quarter and a chance to boot the Tigers 14th. Very steady in his approach with a drop punt. The Tiger fans are delighted because it's another one. 14 goals, 3, 87. 50 points, the margin over Carlton, 5-7-37, and still KB not quite breaking into a smile.
An excellent football then from Richmond. Set it up with the loose man, and then an excellent lead from Hogg, who's just done a few nice things, Ian, to keep it interesting and make it hard up there for the Carlton defenders.
Big, strong-looking fella too, Malcolm up there, and takes a good mark and handles the ball well when he kicks it. 50 points Richmond lead by. We're 23 minutes into the last quarter. Carlton heading for one of their worst drubbings for quite a while. And there's that man Nixon again. He gets the tap out. The kick by Evans towards centre-half forward. Kernahan. Good play by Clark. On to Thompson. Thompson kicks it wide out towards the wing. Peters. Very good player in his debut match for the Tigers. Up towards full forward. Hogg nearly took a screamer. DeRuy off to Shine. Shine out wide to Hannah. Hannah has Elvin in support. Elvin gets past and left foot kick up towards the wing area. Evans can't mark. Desperate stuff by Notting. Great play by the small Richmond player. Out wide to the wing looking for James, but it goes over the boundary line just in front of that player. And there's a stern looking Robert Walls. Not too much to smile about. Carlton 5-7-37. Richmond 14-3-87. The Tigers by 50 points.
Yes, they're certainly looking the goods at the moment. Dorotich from behind. Notting from the bottom. Gets it out to his teammate in Craig Smith. Smith goes with a high kick towards the 50-metre line. With one hand, Philip Egan attempts it. He can't quite take it. He gets it again. Now loses it to Hannah. But he's well tackled. The tackling by Richmond has been fierce tonight. Glasgow. Now to small man Gleeson. Under pressure though. He goes to Dorotich. They appear to fiddle about perhaps a little too much. Silvani will come from behind.
Great mark. Great mark.
This man who came on in Clark is doing a grand job. Now McKellar. Socks down. Doesn't matter to the half-forward line. Peters lost it. Time to butter up. Gets away from Aitken. Affects the hand pass. They go in towards goal. Carlton on the last line of defence, pushing it wider of Notting. In fact, too wide for him, and it goes over the line.
In fact, that was one of the first smothers I've seen from a Carlton player tonight. I could count 10, I suppose, from the Richmond side, just showing the differences in the style of play on tonight's performance.
Time running out for the Blues, and perhaps they might be happy about it, because the sooner they can put this one behind them, the better off they'll be. Harms loses it, but under plenty of pressure. Smith gets it clear. This is David Palm. Tries to weave his way through with a handball to Clark. The old 1-2. It's back again. Will they overdo it? It was Thompson involved. Back he goes. Palm steadies, gets his hand pass out. The kick is high in towards the pocket. They all come. Waiting down is Mitchell. Gets it, clears another one. 3 to Peters. Great performance. Well, Wayne Peters won't forget this game. 3 goals in the last quarter. And again, great team play, Malcolm.
Yes, and he's had 20 touches for the night. To finish it off with 3 goals in the last quarter. Really, I suppose you could say the game's almost over, but it's just been the way he's done it with enthusiasm. Out on that half-forward and wing area, he's really covered some ground.
It's all Richmond, the Panasonic Cup first round match. 93 plays 37. Kick out by Notting. Here's a chance for Gleeson. Well tackled by Goodwin. Desperate stuff, but it's a little unfair according to the umpires. And Gleeson will get up a little sorer, but with the football. One of Carlton's better players, Adrian Gleeson. Kicks it out towards the half-forward flank. Aitkins come up from half-back, takes the mark, plays on quickly, kicks it into the pocket. It's too far for his teammate, and it's out of bounds on the full.
Excellent. Listen, again, to kick on the back move throws yourself off balance and your kicking action goes. You're better off giving away that kick altogether if you've got to kick on the back move.
The Tigers out of trouble. Shine under pressure. Needs support. Kernahan gives it to him. Back to Aitken. Steadies. Goes longer this time, centering the football in towards Steve Kernahan, who takes the mark. Well, they've certainly done a good job on the Carlton captain tonight. He's been well restricted.
Yes, I hope the young fella learned something at Clark on Stephen Kernahan. Then he really didn't go for the ball. The more you got in the pack, the harder it is for players like Kernahan to mark.
Kernahan from 45 metres. The drop punt is a wobbly shocker. One behind. And Steve says, well, if they're hot, I'm not.
See, how come I always used to play against him, he never used to miss?
Huntington brings the ball back into play. And the mark taken by McKellar. He's in the back pocket. The Tigers close to siren time, and they can be content with a very, very good evening's work. Egan missed what he should have taken. This allows Hunter in. He goes in towards the forward zone once again. Good defensive work, however, by the Tigers. They're able to push it clear. Palm. One bounce. Don't forget it's only 10 metres. Across to Bauer. Another bounce. Needs someone going past. Has it in McKellar. He steadies. Goes in towards half forward. Hogs the target. It drops a little short. Waiting at the back is Alvin. They're surrounding him, so he scoops it out the back. No one at home, however. It was Smith to Hogg. He'll hook it back in towards full forward. But Milhana sees it go over the line. And in fact over the line on the foot. 38 plays 93, if you've just joined us, favouring Richmond.
Kick in by Derui out towards half back. Kernahan up high, can't mark. Chance for Murphy. Dragged off the ball by Notting as he kicks, but it goes up towards the wing. The mark's been taken by Thompson for Richmond. What a tremendous disciplined performance by Richmond. Kick up towards centre half back. Aiken could have marked, but no confidence, punched it away. James punched towards full forward. Mitchell, desperate stuff by Mitchell. At least he keeps the ball in the forward scoring area for the Tigers, and we'll have a boundary throw in 3 or 4 metres around from the behind post. Young Summers, another likely prospect. Richmond have really done it well with desperation and discipline. Murphy out wide. Glascott with a little bit of space. Looking for someone to hand pass to. It's Alvin at centre half back. Comes through the centre. No one to kick it to. Thompson at the back. Here's a chance now for Morrish. He grabbed when he did well. He did have the ball, and Silvani's been rewarded for that tackle. The free kick will go to Stephen Silvani between wing and centre half forward. Out wide it comes to Gleeson. Gleeson plays on quickly, kicks it towards the half forward flank area. Harms, clean bowls Harms, and goes over for a boundary throw.
Well, I think that just depicts the evening of Carlton have had. Silvani kick was a very average slack kick, and there's another very poor kick towards Harm, and they've gained 25 metres, and they're out wider, so almost as far away from the goals.
Here's the throw in. Clark with a mighty thump gains 20 metres. Shine tries to peg it back, picked up by Bauer. He's got support though in the form of James, then follows it on with some good shepherding work. Bomber suddenly remembers it's 10 metres and has a bounce in towards centre wing, fisted towards the boundary line, and will beat the players over. And a throw in to take place. Michael Mitchell, perhaps a little cramped. Certainly been busy tonight. Stats mightn't show it, but he really has done some fine work, and there it is. A great victory to Richmond. The final scoreline showing Richmond 15-3. Magnificent kicking for goal, 93. Defeating a very disappointing Carlton, who could kick only 5 goals, 8, 38. And if you'd said at the start of the game, Ian Robertson, that was going to be the final score, you would have scratched your head, would you not?
Well, it was just, it was amazing from, I guess, from Carlton's point of view, but tremendous stuff for the Tigers after finishing on the bottom of the ladder to come out here and win a game. It just depicts their performance. They were together all night, just the way they're coming off the ground. There's a little bit of misfortune for them. A couple of their players injured, Peter Wilson and Michael Pickering, but a great team performance. Perfect discipline and a great start to the season for Kevin Bartlett.
Yes, it'll be all smiles now as we repeat the final score for you. Richmond 15-3, 93, eclipsing Carlton 5-8, 38. Welcome back. If you had a punt on tonight's game and you selected Richmond, selection 13, you netted $35.40. Magnificent performance by the Tigers as we check the quarter-by-quarter scores, and they did it well in all quarters, particularly going on with the job in the second half. They kicked 5 goals straight in the third quarter and went one better in the last. They kicked 6 goals straight and restricted Carlton at the same time to just 4 goals in that second half. The final scoreline showing Richmond 15-3, 93, Carlton 5-8, 38. And so the Tigers stay in the competition and will advance into the next round. For Carlton, it is the end as we have a look at this top part of the draw. And we can see those that are forward already. Richmond now will join Melbourne and Fitzroy. Melbourne, of course, had a bye. Fitzroy successful over Footscray, and Richmond successful over Carlton. Now, the Tigers' next match will be against the winner of tomorrow's match between Geelong and St Kilda. In the bottom half of the draw, Essendon also with a bye. And tomorrow we've got, of course, Hawthorn playing Brisbane. And still to come, Collingwood meet North Melbourne, and then the West Coast Eagles play the Sydney Swans. So great football action still to come, and what a great game it was tonight, particularly, I guess, if you are a Richmond supporter. That brings us to the best player on the ground, and having talked with all co-commentators, it was a pretty unanimous decision tonight that the best player on the ground was wearing the number 36 Guernsey for the Richmond Football Club, and that was Richard Nixon. A fine performance indeed, as he did extremely well, not only on the ball but around the ground as well. Hit-outs 28, 1 handball, 2 free kicks, 5 marks and 12 kicks. A great performance by Richard Nixon, adjudged best man on the ground. Let's go down to the rooms now, and here he is with Peter Donegan. Pete.
Thanks very much, Sandy. Well, I think they call him the president around the club, and you were certainly in charge out there on the ground tonight. Richard, congratulations.
Thanks. It was hard work, hard day's work tonight. Very tough opponents, and I found it, they're really competitive, you know. I'm just glad the side won. A surge from the bottom, and we're here. We're going to be final 5 this year for sure.
Now, it's always hard to judge in pre-season just how well you're going to go until you get a game under your belt. What was your confidence level like realistically when you finished last year and Carlton were premiers?
Oh, well, I thought it'd be a hard task, but you've got to go into it thinking you're going to win. You've got to go in it with the right attitude, otherwise you'll just get nowhere. And we psyched ourselves up all week and over pre-season for this first match, and it paid off with a good win.
Well, I'm sure that you'd be the first to admit that the boys were a great help, but the prize is going to you tonight, Richard, and it is the microwave oven from Panasonic for being the best player on the ground. Well done.
Thank you very much, just what I need.
Richard Nixon, the best player on the ground in tonight's magnificent performance by the Tigers, as we go back to the commentary box and Sandy Roberts.
Thanks, Pete. The president. I wonder how he got that name. It wouldn't have to be Einstein. Gentlemen, what a great performance by the Tigers.
Well, I think KB and his brains trust would be very pleased with that, Sandy. Their discipline was great. They did everything right, the smaller things in football, the tackling and the harassing, the chasing. And they had those key players in Nixon and Mitchell. Peters in his first game, tremendous. There's Mitchell kicking a goal for Richmond. And it was just a good all-round performance by the Richmond side.
Yes, I think Kevin Bartlett's taken Richmond back to the basics, and after the hiccup of last year, you must say it's a hiccup, that they're obviously a better side and a better outfit than that. And it really was good to see young blokes just out there having a red-hot go and doing those disciplined things. And I'll just repeat it a couple of times, is I thought that their off-hands, another goal being scored there by Peters, that sort of crumbs and kick gathering off the packs was excellent. Their statistics for the game show that Carlton had a few more, and that's certainly right. But once again, they did fiddle around a bit, Sandy.
Yes, they did. They seemed to go short on a number of occasions where perhaps trying the distance may have been better. But as you can see, they outscored the Tigers in the kicking department, not in the marking department. The free kicks went the way of Carlton, and also the handballs went the way of Carlton, but the hit-outs certainly went the way of the Tigers, as we mentioned, with Richard Nixon having a magnificent game. He, in fact, had 28 hit-outs for the match. Well, the action continues at VFL Park tomorrow in the form of a great double-header. There's going to be plenty of football action, and you're going to be seeing it all in 88 on 7. So I hope you can stay with us for a great season. Well, during the week I had the opportunity of having a look at two sides that you're going to be seeing in action tomorrow. And I'm talking about Geelong and St Kilda. It's probably not unfair when Melburnians talk about Geelong, they refer to it as Sleepy Hollow, a very pleasant, easy-going country town. And that tag doesn't worry the people of Geelong. But have a go at their football team, and that is a different matter. The Cats are the pride and joy of Geelong, even though their success in recent years has been limited. In fact, they haven't played in a league grand final since 1967. But it might just be that the Cats are set to wake up Sleepy Hollow. Despite severe injuries, the Cats under coach John Devine last year finished a creditable 6th. Now Devine wants the next major step, and that is a place in the finals.
We had some very good wins last year. We played very well towards the end of the season, but we let the sides below us beat us, which was very disappointing. So what we have to do is to be able to attack those sides with just as much fierceness as we tackle the sides above us. And
if Devine can keep his team relatively injury-free and get the consistency he wants, then the Cats should continue their upward trend on the ladder of success, and that could mean their first finals appearance since 1981. But if the Cats are intent upon climbing the ladder, then so too is St Kilda. In fact, they intend carrying on from where they left off late last season, with one slight change. A fit and raring to go Doc is back at the helm.
I feel very fit, Sandy. Looking forward to the year.
In recent years, the Saints haven't had a lot to cheer about. They were wooden spooners 4 years in succession. However, Baldock lifted them into 10th spot last year, and talking to the Doc, one gets the impression the Saints will go even higher in 88.
I suppose my expectations, I think, are the same as the players at the moment. Their expectations are high. I believe it will be a very disappointing year for us if we don't make the 5.
John Devine had the final words on tomorrow's clash between the Cats and the Saints.
I suppose it's fair to say that St Kilda have been looked upon as the big improvers in the competition last year. We know we're going to strike them on a bit of a high, and they're going to be very tough to beat, so it'll be a big test for both sides.
Yeah, it's going to be great action tomorrow, and two marvellous games. So I hope if you can't make it out to VFL Park, you'll be able to watch them on 7. First up, the Hawks tackle the Brisbane Bears, and then the Geelong Cats take on Darryl Baldock's St Kilda team. Looking further ahead, on Wednesday, Collingwood will play North Melbourne here at VFL Park. Our coverage beginning at 8:30 p.m. and then even further ahead to next Saturday, that's the 20th, also starting at 8:30. The West Coast Eagles will play the Sydney Swans. Well, to all you Richmond fans, celebrate tonight. It was a great performance indeed to easily account for the reigning day premiers. I hope you've had a good night wherever you may have been watching. And on behalf of our commentary team, Sandy Roberts saying good night to you all.
This has been a 7 Sport presentation for the Australian Television Network. Tonight's football was brought to you by the SIO, your state insurance office, in association with Carlton United Breweries, brewers of Victoria Bitter.
Tomorrow from 1 o'clock, a double-header live on 7, when Mr Magic leads his Fighting Saints into VFL Park to take on John Devine and the Geelong Cats. Then it's time for the North-South Showdown, as Peter Knights tries to keep the Bears on top of the Hawks in their first encounter for the Panasonic Cup. Tomorrow from 1 o'clock, St Kilda versus Geelong and Hawthorn versus Brisbane. The Panasonic Cup doubleheader, live and exclusive to 7 Sport.
Part man, part machine. He has only one purpose: to destroy the enemies of the state. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator. First time on television, Sunday.
Let's